Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Y'all drop a vortex or 12,000 in the chat if your little brother can't be heard. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Battle of the Holy Books. Oahspe, the book the world is in fear of. Clearing up some Romans a little taste. Y'all know how we do. We know we done struck a nerve out here. Got millie mouth midgets mad, foaming at the mouth. They in denial. They can't believe. Now we out here light bombing. Belt the ass on your deity, your book, and your deity's devotees. Belt the ass. Bring that ass. Get in the ring or get under the wing. What's the word, family? All praise to the creator, the God maker, the maker of suns, moons, and stars. Always was, is, and never shall be the mighty and great spirit, the mighty and great I am, whose magnitude is incomprehensible. Meaning you can't fully grasp creator. The highest raised angel can't fully grasp creator. And whose presence is everywhere. It's your little brother, Malaki Macabee, of the creator gang, also known as the megaton light bomb, not a kiloton. That's just 1,000 tons of light. Megaton is 1,000,000 tons of light bombing, cracking the skulls of the kingdom of darkness. Y'all already know what time it is with your brother. What's the word? Y'all hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And yeah, we pissing off the right folk in this hour. But we also inspiring the right people in this hour. Inspiring. You dig? So with that, you know, it's all worth it. All the millie mouth midgets, all the mental midgets, all the naysayers, they all turn the debate down. They all turn the fade down. Every last one of them. The Cub Scouts of Israel, known as the Army of Israel, led by it's really not an army. It's one guy over there. Goes by the name of Mahar. And I know the brother personally, you know, shout out Mahar. But like I told them, you's a spiritual coward. You're not going to get in the ring. You know, you need help. You need help. And unfortunately, the people you run into for help, we done already put belt the ass to them and their deity. Matter of fact, one of them, we whooped his ass so bad, he changed his name, changed his gods. The boy that goes by the moniker JJ7000, you know, he switched up and now he's a Mandinka Mali African priest or some type of madness. Y'all ran to go get him. I'm like, oh my God. You must have didn't see that spectacle. We destroyed him and the entire lion's den or the kitten's den, and then they kicked him out the lion's den. He got kicked out of his own organization that he started. So I already knew you need help. And you really wasn't about that life, you know. So you start making excuses like, no, Mally, we got questions. We don't want to debate. You want to come sit in the hot seat? No, all that's past. Belt the ass. I done already pulled up for the smoke and sat in niggas' hot seats the past 5 years. You ain't been paying attention? FOPE swung through there and ended them. They ain't even been back alive since. Went and sat in their queen of their debate league. You know, she's a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Naphtali sat in her little hot seat, caught her in a lie. She pulled a book out and didn't think we had it and started lying on the book. Talking about they say the earth is 12,000 years old. Not in that book, it don't, boo-boo. Stop it. Who else? Swung through the lion's den, sat in they hot seat, belt their ass. You know, I controlled the whole thing over there. I'm like, nah, y'all gonna ask me one question at a time. You did. Y'all had your boy Demon Throat Apostle over there. Sound like Frog from the Little Rascals. Yeah. After he debated the gang, he woke up and slapped the wig off his woman head, admittedly. Yeah, y'all think these are jokes. This is like what really happened. You know what I mean? Sat in that hot seat over there, destroyed that. That ain't been the same ever since. So I'm like, look, I'm done sitting in hot seats and getting interrogated. Y'all act like y'all wanted to come for a brother, so belt the ass, get in the ring. Your God is a demon. Your book is corrupted, and your elevator stuck in the basement. Debate it, get in the ring, belt the ass. He responds, he just wants to wants me to sit in the hot seat. Yeah, all right, yeah, you don't want no smoke. That's what you're saying. You dig? Then it's another guy I know that moved to. I met him in Kansas City back in 2007. There was a little Israelite movement going on back then, so we was traveling the Midwest, meeting different brews. One of the brews I met is a guy by the name of Terry Brown on Facebook. He goes by the name of Shebaniah. And shit, I guess I'm gonna give you a little spin, Sheb. But his whole little, him and his little movement converted to Judaism, did a recircumcision blood ritual through a female rabbi. A Negro got his penis pricked and blood collected and put on file over in Israel so he can go over there and get him some citizenship. Anyway, he reached out the other day when me and the Minister of Wellness was live and act like he wanted to debate. So I got in touch with him. I was like, okay, we're going to do 3 20-minute rounds. You know what I mean? Last round, question and answer, and we open up to the crowd. You agree to the topic? He said, no, Aki, Shalika, I don't think you understand. I'm like, what you mean I don't understand? I don't want to debate. I don't want to give you the chance of confusing nobody else. Are you admitting that I'm gonna whoop that ass? Is that what you're saying? No, I just want to pray for death. I said, boy, look, take that strike off your head. If anybody God gonna be doing some killing, it's gonna be yours on you when you lose this debate. The Creator don't even get down like that, man. You dig? So he don't want to debate. He want to pray for death. So he said no. And then the fast talking Hebrew Isaiah, Yasha Allah, he don't want to do nothing but make dry video. So none of the men who act like they want to smoke with the gang, they all came out in their own way, said no. They don't want to. They don't even want to get in the ring. One want a hot seat, the other want to pray for death. And I like, bro, look, there's no reason for you not to make it back home to your family because you so devoted to your deity. Take that strike off your head, bro. But make no mistake about it, you're gonna lose. I'm gonna prove to the world you in league with a demon. I'm gonna prove it. You dig? And when you lose, your God is liable to strike you down because you are under a blood oath to this nigga. I'm not. You know what I mean? What else is going on? Yeah, that's about it. So then men been making like little rumor videos and showing old videos of what I used to teach versus what I teach now. I'm like, that ain't doing nothing but helping our cause. All right. People see where I was and where I'm at now. And you feel me? When I was in that darkness over there, even though I wasn't sincere, when I was in that darkness, y'all wasn't messing with me then. So what I'm saying is belt to ass. Yeah, Dread, this nigga, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I know these men. So I got receipts. Yes. In order for this Negro to go over into the land of Israel and receive citizenship so he won't get treated like no illegal alien, he agreed to a conversion ritual, which included of waving an Israeli flag, a flag waving ritual. And mind you, this was all up under the supervision of a white female rabbi. Yeah, Israeli flag waving ritual. And then he had to go through a circumcision process. So being that he, a Negro born in America, he probably more than likely, I guess, I don't know. I guess he was already circumcised. So what they did was, according to him, this nigga told a whole basement of us brews this. Cause we was driving these niggas like, man, how the hell? Like, what y'all do to get citizenship? Everybody else been trying to get over to Israel. They don't got citizenship. So what y'all do? We put the pressure on that boy. He stepped forward. He raised his hand. No bullshit. We was in Jacob, brother. Yeah, some of y'all know brother Jacob Israel. Yeah. The OG. Even though he don't know a lick of scripture, he, Jake Wild. You know what I mean? That's one of the the elders I came up under. You dig? I came up under some gangster Israelites, to be honest with you. Like men that was still in the streets, ride around with Uzis and, pull up at Sabbath class with an Uzi in his briefcase type. We was all in the Hebrew world. We was all in his basement. This back in 2007. I'm a young man. I'm 2007. Hell, I was 25 or something. Young man. You dig? And I knew then when these niggas got to talking about like conversion and Recircumcision and all that. I mean, I knew when they was talking about converting to Judaism, in my spirit, I knew it was off. You dig? But some of the, some of the like Jake and them was entertaining it. Daniel Solomon wasn't entertaining it, but Jake and his little band of misfits, they was entertaining that bullshit. And I'm like, the young bros, like when we came into the camp, it was a whole. We came as a gang. It was about 50 of us, young bros in our 20s, fresh out the streets. You know what I mean? And so we naturally attracted to that street element type. But Jake was running with some Hebrews, and one of them was this boy Shebaniah and them out of Kansas City. You dig? And yeah, so they came up, they concocted some type of weird idea that they can receive citizenship over in Israel, in which they actually have citizenship. Nah, you dig? But they had to go through a rabbi and convert to Judaism. Yes, you dig? And what happened was there was a flag waving ritual. This was in the newspaper back in the day. I remember the St. Louis Post's patch. I remember after we had finished going from Kansas City to Nashville, I think we went down to Cairo, Illinois. Like all these bros was hanging together. You know what I mean? And me and my crew was just like, I probably like 2 years into teaching at the time. Yeah, I'm still fresh though. You did. And we come into this whole thing or whatever, and we kept hearing whispers of conversion. And as a young man, I knew it was off. You dig? So I ain't never attract to it. But anyway, we all in Mr. Hebrew 1 basement. Oh, in St. Louis, the STL, right on Delmar, Hebrew Manor. You dig? And it's a gang of us in the basement, all hitters, like young, just ready to turn a hole in something. Mind you, we had just gotten to it with most of these niggas in Nashville. You know what I mean? And we surrounded they whole little squad, surrounded them out there in the hallway. You dig? And it was about to go up. And then, cooler heads prevailed. So when we got back to St. Louis, some of them from Nashville and Kansas City, because they was cool with Jacob. Jake called us up and was like, "Hey, look, meet us at Hebrew Manor. You dig? Bring your crew." I'm like, "Hell, nigga, bet. What you mean? Because we always together anyway. It's nothing. What you mean, bring my crew, man? Look, man, we piled through that deal, man, and we about 100 deep. I'm talking about, hey, we young too, so we smell like Remy Martin, and we smell the chronic in the air is strong. Hey, we young and we really with this. You dig? But we ain't, it's no nonsense when it comes to all this conversion type. We pile in there. And question came out about, so how is you niggas getting citizenship over in Israel? You dig? And some of them elders was tiptoeing through the tulips. And the boy that stepped up, because he ain't that much older than us, is a boy on Facebook by the name of Terry Brown. Shebaniah, I told you I'll make you famous, boy. The last thing you should ever did was come for me. I'll make you famous, nigga. So anyway, he finally stepped up and was like, I tell you what I did. And we was like, what? You dig? And he was like, I converted to Judaism and we had to go through a whole ritual. And we was like, well, what's the ritual? You dig? And then he, of course, explained the flag waving ritual. Nigga had to wave an Israeli flag in allegiance to this modern state of Israel. And then he came on out and said it. It's like, yeah, we had to go through a recircumcision. We like, recircumcision? How the hell? Like, what you mean recircumcision? It's impossible to get circumcised twice. You dig? And he admitted that these niggas, the female rabbi and her board of Zionists took a long ass pencil, pen, or whatever, you know what I mean, and stabbed this nigga in the head of his rod. You dig? And then threw him some tissue or some swab or whatever, and collected his blood and put it on fire. And that completed his whole conversion ritual. And by year's end, him and his family took that 13-hour flight to Israel, and he's been over there since. All right, so when he reached out the other day claiming that he wanted to debate, and he was like, your creator against my God made a loser be struck down. I hit him up immediately. Like, boy, what is you talking about? Because mind you, I know his family. Like, I know him. You damn, my boy, what is you talking about? And then, so I'm like, well, all right, what you saying? Like, you want to, I first told him that the creator don't even get no type of, pleasure out of that. Creator don't even get down like that. Take no wager of putting one of you niggas to death because you lose. You know what I mean? I'm just here to show that your God is a demon. Huh? And that you a few sandwiches short of a picnic and that your book is corrupted. So get in the ring. He said, oh no, Aki. Oh, I don't think you understand. I'm like, well, what don't I understand? We can do 3 20-minute rounds. Last round, we can do a question and answer back and forth, open it up for the crowd. Let the crowd decide. You did? No. I want to pray for death. I said, boy, take that strike off your head and your family head. There's no reason for you to get belt to ass, lose, and then just because you are under the blood covenant or oath of the state of Israel and your bloody God, there's no reason for you not to make it back to your family out. You know what I mean? And now he was like, yeah, but I don't want to debate you though. I don't want to debate you because you might confuse more people. I said, are you admitting that you're going to lose if you get in the ring with the guy? You dig? And, after that, so he probably responded a couple more times. His brother Kevin, he tried to say a few things, which is, oh, brother, how's your name? Malaki Macabee, and you're going against I'm like, look, the hell with all that. Get in the ring. Y'all coming up with every excuse not to bang. Get in the ring. You know what I mean? So just to let the fam know, everybody turned the fade down with the gang. They just got jokes. The Cub Scouts of Israel, aka the Army of Israel, really, it's only one guy in that organization. His name is Mahorikal. He don't want to debate. He just want to put me in the hot seat and have some questions. Nah. It's too late for all that. Belt the ass, get your ass in the ring. He don't want to take the fade. Shebaniah, aka Terry Brown on Facebook, the recircumcised Jewish converted Israelite or whatever, who went through a flag waving ritual and a recircumcision process with a female rabbi back in 2007 so he can get citizenship in Israel. He don't want to debate. He just want to pray for death. To no avail, boy. We come in a higher authority than you. We come in the name of the Creator. You come in the name of your bloody deity. So all this gonna get stopped in the track. And your boy Isaiah Yasha Allah, he been on the phone with the Minister of Wellness. Minister of Wellness sent me the recordings. He's in pure denial, but he has no reason to debate either, he said. So everybody that's been talking crazy don't want no smoke with the gang. I just wanted to let y'all know. You know what I mean? Creator remains undefeated, as always. Battle of the Holy Books. Oahspe, the book the world is in fear of. How y'all feeling today? If I can be heard loud and clear. If y'all see where we at, the current state of affairs, y'all drop a 10,000 in the chat, man. Let's go ahead and keep cooking. And we're going to get into a few things today. We're going to clear up some rumors. And a lot of the stuff that we're going to go over today, y'all, we've been put together. It's just people ain't been paying attention. We already got the presentations and the debate formats and everything ready to fly. We ready yesterday. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. So this is some of the mumble mouth midgets that we've debated over the years, and they readily admit that they up under a demon. That's good.
All right, question for Ease. Would you kill your child, your son, if your God told you to?
You said the Most High told me to?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is. Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is. Yeah, man, the Most High said do it, then that's what it is.
A 22-year-old woman told hotel workers in Holmes County that she had been directed by God. To go on a shooting spree about the solar eclipse, and that not long after she left the hotel in a purple Dodge Challenger driving to the interstate, traveling west, shooting into 2 cars. One of the drivers was shot in the neck, the other grazed in his arm.
If your God came to you right now, tonight, in pomp and glory, shining, and he commanded the death of your child, would you sacrifice your child?
If the Most High would do it, of course. If the Most High would do it, of course. If the Most High is going to do it, of course.
Peter Lucas Moses refers to himself as a radical religious person who is with the Black Hebrews. And he just pleaded guilty to killing a 4-year-old and a woman that he was living with. He killed the 4-year-old because he thought he was gay.
Moses believed 4-year-old Higginbotham was homosexual. Klein says Moses took Higginbotham to the garage, played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, and shot him. Played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and shot him. Played the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and shot him.
If God came to you and told you to sacrifice your kid, would you sacrifice your kid?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
God is called a terrible, like demon-like power. God is called a terrible, like demon-like power. God is called the terrible, like demon-like power. So Napa means empty, you could say, or like open. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible. Shita means demon, or demon-like or terrible.
According to the criminal complaint, Light told investigators God told him to shoot Pastor Germany. God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
God told him to shoot Pastor Germany.
And he wanted to go to jail to clear his mind.
Would you kill your child or your grandchild if God told you to?
Oh, man.
So that's a yes?
Yeah, well, it's a yes. It's a yes.
It's a yes.
But I think that it would be a test. I don't think the Lord would actually tell you to do it. I think it would just be a test because we can see.
You'd be willing to go through with it?
Or I'll go through any trial the Lord puts me through.
Yahweh billionaire was a self-proclaimed son of God. One day, in 1981, her North Dade home became a house of death. Banks and her husband, Carlton Carey, had just returned from talking with police about another Yahweh member who had been decapitated. Today, Yahweh is charged in her attempted murder and the death of her husband. October 1986, Yahweh's take over an overlocked apartment building. 2 residents who were ordered to leave publicly complained. That night, both were shot to death.
Wow! Judah, do you hear me? If the Most High Yahweh tells you to kill your family, would you do it? Yes or no?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
Oh, Judah, no,
Damn!
Judah didn't mean that, y'all.
If the Most High say, put your family down, would you do it for the Most High?
By faith, yes. By faith, yes.
By faith, yes.
But he's going to tell me not to do it, just like he did Abraham. We have a story like that already. Next.
The moral law is that if a child was to be rebellious, towards their parents, they was to be taken out and be stoned to death for that. You see what I'm saying?
Would you do that? Would you do that if your God came back to you today in glory and said, I want you to stone your son if he get rebellious? Would you do it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I would.
Wow.
The Most High was to come to you and ask you to off your loved ones. Would you do it, brother?
If I had made the mistake, if I didn't have ancestors inside of me and I made the mistake of making babies with outside nations, and then I heard the download from my ancestors saying that you need to put them away, yes, I will put them away. Yes, I will put them away.
Yes, I will put them away.
Okay, Judah Nazareth, if the Most High come to you and say, I want you to put down your family, I have a better movement for you that I need you to do, would you do it?
They're out of here. They're out of here.
You heard it for yourself. The one thing we gonna do over this way is keep it real first. You heard it for yourself. Let me take this on now. You heard it for yourself, though. First thing and only thing we gonna do is keep it real over here. You dig? So that's not slander. That's not slander at all. That's right from the horse's mouth. Hell yeah. Absolutely yes. They're out of here. Yes, I will put them away. Their God is the demon, according to Swivel Hips. What I mean, so what is this? And the nerve for anybody to think anybody in that vibration coming like that can have any type of competition or win anything with us over this way, period. That proves the deity that they are in league with is a demon. Yes. What are you mad at us for? We just simply calling y'all to the flow or calling y'all to the ring. You dig? To show the world what you already stand on and believe. Show the world what you already standing on and believe in. You believe your God is the devil, a demon. Correct? So what's the problem? Y'all been running around here pump faking, playing the game. So y'all see the title, right? Y'all see the title. Battle of the Holy Books, Oahspe, the book the world is in fear of. We're going to clear up some rumors today as well, because, that's the only thing these men have are jokes. They really, they really can't go bar for bar with us when it come down to this. It's just jokes, right? And then when they realize they ain't got nothing else popping, they play the race card. Oh, the white and yellow or the brown and dark. But as you see, look at that. That's drunk behavior. No matter what skin you put on it, if you are willing, look, you are a black-hearted, urine-drinking bastard, no matter what your ethnicity is. If you could look at any of those babies at the top of that screen right there, those are newborn, those are sucklings, newborn children. Those are the type of little jokers you put kisses, you put about 1,000 kisses on the forehead every day. These is little babies. Look, they're not even the age of walking. They barely crawling. But if the wind skipped across your earlobe at a certain measure of pressure, and you got what you call inspired to bash their heads against the stones or put a bullet in their head because you were convinced your God told you to, you are demonic. You are a devil. I don't give a hell where it's written at. Oh man, thus saith the Lord, the Bible. I don't give a damn what it say. You evil as hell, and you better stay the hell away from us. So what those people just admitted in that video is that their families are more safe around Creator Gang than they are with their own fathers and grandfathers. Because we gonna say hell no, I don't give a hell what come knocking. Hey man, prove your devotion to me. You probably gonna get shot coming around me talking like that and kicked up your rear end and sent on your way limping. Hell, you mean kill some children? Hell to the no, I'm not doing that. And so when we come off bold like that, that offends people. I got a brother. He's a cousin to my brother Malaki Macabee in the chat right now. A long time brother of mine, but I cornered him. Everybody know who Ruben is. Ruban, Arifa Ruben, Cordell Roy. You dig? But I asked him a couple years ago, boy, look, man, because I know his children well. Would you kill my nephews or my pretty niece if the God that you in devotion to told you to? Do you know what this nigga said? And Ruben, if you're listening, it ain't no if. You are listening. You pretending like you not listening. Boy, you know I ain't lying. Do y'all know what he said? He said, oh, man, I couldn't tell you. You couldn't. Man, I blew on him. Right on the phone, blew on him. What the hell you mean you couldn't tell? Or you don't know? That's what I'm saying. Like, so all the little, that's what I'm saying. You men, you so-called men ain't got nothing over this way. Right? If you ain't got the nuts to say, hell no, I'm never doing that. You've been compromised. You are in the clutches of a damn devil. Your God is a devil. And I'm calling you to the ring on it. Belt the ass, nigga. Or sit over there and pretend like you not listening. Hell, you mean you couldn't tell me or you really don't know? Man, look, boy, man, hey, boy, you better be thankful we wasn't face to face then. We would have been, we would have been tussling. The hell you mean? Huh? The hell you mean? Now watch this right here. You see this right here? See, we're gonna address some of these rumors today. Stop it. The Oahspe was starving babies putting LSD up their butt. Now look, you can't find nowhere in Oahspe where that's condoned at all. But no, don't worry about it. We got the rumors. Like we've been had this put together. We been had this put together years ago. Shout out to my brother Cloud, Kicking Cosmo Cow. All I got to do is pull the files and just go over it, and we gonna destroy all that. You see, the crazy part about it, people believe this without going to do their own research behind it. But when we get to pulling newspaper articles and court records, you're gonna be looking lower than snail nuts. Like, damn, these are straight rumors. Like, I'm straight believing this, and I ain't even gonna put my homework in. Yeah. And if anybody that calls themselves a follower of any book, right, or an adherent to any book, and they were displaying character that's opposite of what the book is saying, you dig? That ain't the book fault. That's the person that's claiming to be the adherent. So we can look. You don't really want to go there because we can pull up Waco, Texas. David Koresh. What was he using? Bible. Had folk convinced he was the Lamb in Revelations, and he had the keys to unlock the 7 seals of Revelation. But he was down in Waco, Texas, taking men's wives and having their way with them. Now, what about Heaven's Gate, the UFO cult that convinced all these people that the mothership was right above their head, and allowed and had them all committing suicide? Or what about your boy Timothy McVeigh, a Christian, the Oklahoma City bombing? You really don't want to go there and talk about people that are Bible adherents that have committed mass levels of terrorism throughout history. The Knights Templar. You people don't know what you're talking about. You haven't done your research. You know what you're doing? You're just regurgitating what you done heard. And in this realm over here, it's a no-fly zone. You would never be able to get that off. Stop it. Now, you're going to sit there and get built the ass. And I'm going to show you. I got the whole thing pulled up. Everything from the placental grass eaters to the, everything, man. Your boy, what's your boy name that be around here claiming he from Texas, but really from Ireland, some damn word. What's that boy name? I forgot his name, but we got him up in here too, man. Easy work. So look, this is what we gonna do first and foremost. All right, we gonna go and read. All right, easy work. What Oahspe is, and again, people are afraid, and not for a bad reason. Let me share this real quick with y'all. Bang. And let's pull it up and see. And then we're going to address some of this and then get on up out of here. Bang. Oh, yeah, for sure, Sister Tabitha. I know what it is. I know what it is. Easy work. Let's read. Let's get into it. Hope everybody's feeling marvelous. That dude say putting LSD up babies' butts. Let me be the first to say, I ain't with none of the madness, the harming of women, the harming of children, any of that. Anybody try to come around me with any type of pedophilia or sexual perversion or any of that, you dig? We might not be able to promise you safety. Put it that way. Yeah, we ain't playing none of that. We not playing no harm coming to no children or no harm coming to no women, no matter where it's written at. But you know what's written in the Bible, don't you? But the little girls, Numbers 31 and 17, Numbers 31, 16 through 17, but the little girls you can have and keep for yourselves. What's written in Bible? 1 Samuel 15 and 3, kill the infants, kill the sucklings. Huh? What's written in Deuteronomy 20:16 through 17? Kill them all. Kill the men, kill the women, kill the babies, kill the animals, kill them all. That's what's written in Bible. Wait. So what is Oahspe? Let's read this real quick. And we're just going to get into it. Oahspe is a practical guidebook to the spiritual life. Nothing evil thus far. Standard edition. Okay. It's written in modern American language, so it's not even written in that good old British. Good day, mate. It ain't even written in the Australian or British accent. It is in modern American language. That's pretty good. We really don't have to, cross-reference too much Hebrew and Greek. And all right, so what is it about? You have a corporeal body and a spiritual body. Facts. Okay. Hear me and I will open your understanding. I come to free not only the corporeal man, but the spiritual man. So this message is about freedom across the board. Physical freedom, anybody claiming to be descendants of slaves, and spiritual freedom. Freedom from the false deities, gods, and tyrants that rule mankind through their mechanism called religion. Nothing evil thus far. Very highly revolutionary, if you ask me. Yet with your freedom or liberty, you also attain to responsibility. Really? Yeah. So if you're a free man, if you're a free woman, you understand that comes with responsibility. Remember, you're no man's slave or no God's slave, right? Yet with your freedom, you also attain to responsibility so that sooner or later, it's a time thing. It ain't even an if. It's a when. Sooner or later, your fidelity, your faithfulness to your creator and to your fellow man in righteousness, love, and good works shall become the most sacred study of your life. Look at that. The most sacred study of your life is your faithfulness to your creator and to your fellow man. What, in wickedness, hatred, and evil? No. In righteousness, love, and good works. That's the most sacred study of your life. Your fidelity, your loyalty, your faithfulness to your creator and your fellow man. Look at this. Your God does not come in this era as a dictator. Thus saith the Lord, but as your elder brother with ample experience. So what's being revealed here is that God is a brother of ours, an ancestor. God is not the creator. God is a big brother. A true God. A goddess is a big sister, older sister, ancestor. Meaning what? They passed through the physical life, passed on through the spirit world, and rose to the rank of a god or a goddess. It's not hard to understand. So a true God or a true goddess will never accept your prayers or your worship. They don't want it. They don't want it. They're resurrection workers like you ought to be. Their job is just to inspire you into more works of righteousness so you can be where they at one day and they can continue to move on and experience more of the Creator's endless creation. Make sense? This is not blood curdling. This is not, sadistic and eat my flesh, drink my blood, chop that head off, organs, fat. This ain't none of that. What's being revealed is God is the brother, not the father, not the all parent. But you've been praying to God this whole time, which means your God is false. Because a true God will tell you, nah. Look, I'm your brother. I've been where you at. You just trying to get to where I'm at. Right? Makes sense. Drop an 8,000 in the chat. Your God does not come in this era as a dictator, but as your elder brother with plenty of experience. God like, hey, catch this game I'm throwing at you. That's it. Nor do I command saying you shall believe because I, your God, have said it or revealed it in this book. You don't just believe something just because it's written down nowhere. That's what y'all done did with these rumors y'all running around here with. LSD or babies' booties. What the hell? As if Oahspe promote that. Polar tink tink. Polar tink tink. And wait till you find out they're all just rumors. Lies. That make it even worse. And it really shows the character flaw in most you mealy-mouthed midgets. Y'all just as racist as the God you serve. You're just as sadistic and bloodthirsty as the God you serve, man. Look at this. Look at this. Nevertheless, through Oahspe, which means sky, earth, spirit, light of Jehovah, the creator, is revealed to man. And man is to judge himself. Yeah. And labor to save himself. Yeah. So that by this, he may have what? Honor and glory. Nothing evil thus far. Labor to judge and save yourself. You do the work. You free, right? You responsible for all that you are. Your rise and your fall is all on you, brothers and sisters. Your rise and fall is all on you. So use this opportunity to get out there and do good to someone. You don't need a book. You can be illiterate and still do righteousness to somebody out there. You can be illiterate and still have a higher spiritual grade than the most quote unquote successful man, woman, or child breathing oxygen today. All you gotta do is get out there and do good, raise somebody up. For the will of the creator is not for man to be forever led. Yeah, you're not supposed to be in sippy cup mode, like the sippy cup bros. For the will of the creator is not for man to be forever led, but for man to ultimately have the light of practicing good works. Look at that. Organically. Organized, right? From infancy up, from a baby, from a child up. Nothing evil thus far, you mealy-mouthed midgets. You mental midgets. So mad and so angry about this book right here. You really need to do some self-examination. You really need to do some self-examination. Who is it you've been serving? Why are you so reprehensible? Why are you so standoffish when it comes to this message of love, light, health, and all that good stuff in between? What's wrong? You got to check yourself and check the deity you've been getting your kneecaps dusty bowing to. Yeah, I know. Somebody mad. Good, but maybe you'll do something about being mad. Maybe you'll do something about being mad. Like press play. I haven't seen, nobody is playing ball anymore. Put some points up on the scoreboard. Press play. Like make me a believer or something. Like ain't nobody playing ball. Everybody want to talk. But you won't press play though. According to your God, you supposed to come stone me. Make me a believer. Jump outside and press play. Do the bidding of your deity. Yeah, I know. Y'all, we ain't even read nothing evil and blood curdling. You can't get past Genesis, the first, second, or third page without some evil happening. Y'all, we on the cover page of Oahspe. Sky, earth, spirit. That's all it means, man. You dig? So why is the spirit in you so rebellious? Why is the spirit in you so hell-bent against this message of love, life, health, and all that good stuff in between? Why are you so much against the creator being all-powerful or omnipotent, all knowledge or omniscient, unseen, like it say in John 1:18? No man have seen the Father at any time. That's what Yahshua said. Nor heard his voice, nor saw his form. John 1:18, John 5:37, and 1 John 4:12. What you thought we don't know Bible over here? Walk you down with Bible. You still got a problem. If we close Oahspe today, you still got a problem in Bible. We'll walk you down with Bible. That's easy work. Or why are you so hell-bent against the creator being omnipresent or ever-present, meaning fills all space and place at the same time? Why are you so against that? Why are you so against none or orphans? Why are you so against, all people are my people? Why are you so against the man and the woman are on equal playing grounds? She's not your toilet bowl, you musty Negro. She wasn't just put on this earth to be your incubator, you musty Negro. What is you so mad about? Because if somebody was treating your mama the way most you mealy-mouthed so-called Hebrews try to treat your women, boy, you be up in arms. Man, I wish a Negro would approach my mama or my sister acting like some of you black-hearted bastards. It'll be some pistol play around her. Let me keep going. Well, my blood get the boiling around her. Let's keep going. We ain't heard nothing evil yet. Huh? Now, what is Oahspe, Malachi? It's a primary. Why? Because the information that's contained in it, you're not going to find anywhere else. Men claiming it's plagiarized and all that. We're going to deal with all that today, man. This is easy for us. The gang been had this out. The document I'm going to go over today, y'all, is a good 3-4 years old. We been put this together. It's put together by my brother Cosmon Kyle, the cloud kicker. The problem. See, y'all think I'm a problem. No. The problem is Cosmon Kyle. And the reason I say it because he's a problem you can't solve. Yeah. All right, big bro. He's a problem you can't solve. Right? And he get under your skin. Cal, if you're listening, boy, I told you plenty of time, boy, you got more patience than me. I can't sit up and lip wrestle with nobody for no 10, 12 hours. You dig? Then go to work and work 12 hours. That's what Cal do. Cal will bang with you for about 12 hours till it's time for him to clock in. Then go to work for about 12 hours, get on break, slap you up some more, get off work, come through the door. He ain't even took his work clothes off, and he right back at it. Cosmon Cow is the problem. Yeah. He's what they call in the Matrix the anomaly. Can't solve him. You can't solve him. Shout out to my bro, man. I rocks with him. You did. Now look at this. Oahspe is a primary. For the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development of individuals, groups, and humanity for their glory and happiness and for the glory of the whole. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with what we're reading? What are you mad about? It's for the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development. Shout out to my growth and development brothers and sisters. Nothing is wrong with this. Of individuals, groups, and humanity. You mad because it's not exclusive. That's what you mad about. Oh, it just ain't only for black folk. Meanwhile, go live over in Kenya where my brother Nathaniel Jordan lives at. Shout out to the Minister of Wellness. All the infrastructure is black. All the people in governments are black. All the mayors, all the aldermen, all the police, all the presidents, and corruption is at an all-time high. Crime is at an all-time high. Man, it's about the content of somebody's character, man. That's who you need to be putting in position. Those who have a worthy spiritual grade. This is for the spiritual and practical enlightenment and development of individuals, groups, and humanity for their glory and happiness and for the glory of the whole, for everybody. In the words of Jehovah, see? In the words of Jehovah and his angel ambassadors. Bag drop, boy. Bag drop. See, he's gonna put it right on there. It don't say in the words of John Newbro. When we read his letter today, he gonna tell you, look, this deal came through by some other intelligence than my own. He don't even take credit for writing Oahspe. You just mad of how it came through or who it came through. Why? Because you're just as racist and sadistic as the bloodthirsty maniac you serve. How about that? I'm free from the Matrix. I don't give a damn what a thing look like. I'm purely listening for the message. What's the message? Can't fool me with that. Oh man, he got to have certain amounts of concentrated melanin to be righteous. Get the hell out of here with all that. I done seen evil amongst all races. And speaking of a person who grew up around 95% black folk, Majority of my enemies are melanated. What are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah. And that ain't to let the so-called evil of the European races or the Arab nations off the line either. Evil is evil. And if you committing evil, you know what's coming knocking. You know what's on the way, what's coming knocking. You already know this. You can't put evil back and think you ain't gonna get evil right back at you. No way. Being a Cosmine Bible, meaning a present era Bible. Yes, it was written in the present era, this time frame, this era. What does it contain? A history of the dominions of the higher and lower heavens on the earth for the past 25,000 years. And you know, nothing but your regular. Now you go offended because your Hebrew scholars tell you the Hebrew calendar started in 3761 BCE. Y'all, that ain't even 6,000 years ago. I think the Hebrew calendar finna change again. Ain't it about to be the year 57, 88? 87 or something? I forgot what year it's about to be. In other words, it ain't even been 6,000 years according to the biblical timeline since man was created. Now, they got petroglyphs that go back longer than that. Yeah, it's time to come up out of the nursery rhyme status of your understanding and elevate. This right here, kick right off and say, it contains a history of the dominions of the higher and lower heavens on the earth for the past 25,000 years. That overdoes Bible 5 times. Bible don't even go back 6,000 years. Just that alone. You got a history in here that goes 5 times past where the Bible starts. Good night. Well, if y'all understand that, drop a 6,000 in the chat. Look at this. Being from the submersion of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean. Oh, you were like, oh, okay. Yeah. Commonly called the deluge. I know y'all like, oh, you know, that's fairy tale Malachi. That's fairy tale Malachi. I can hear the distaste on you, on your mouth right now. All you gotta do is just look up the Ring of Fire, man. This is easy work for us. Show y'all where this continent used to be at. Freedom and weep. And that sucker been active lately. Yeah, all them earthquakes in Central and South America lately, it's been going down. All them earthquakes and tsunamis happen in Japan, it's been going down. Oahspe reveals that there's a sunken continent on the floor of the Pacific Ocean. And that's why, look, you're looking at the shape of the continent right there. That's why the highest volcanic activity in the world go down right there on what they dub the Ring of Fire. You can fit 5 Africas into there. Oahspe is saying the Great Flood happened 25,000 years ago with the sinking of the continent of Pan. You hear people today talk about Atlantis and Lumerian, hogwash, Pan. But you got to get into Oahspe to get that history. I can pull up the Ring of Fire and show you the outline of the continent, and that the Pacific floor is the top of the continent. It's an ancient continent that was sunk. That continent was sunk, and that's when the flood popped off. Not 2,400 years ago, like Bible say, 25,000 years ago. And y'all, it wasn't just one boat. It was thousands of ships. Thousands of people that survived it. And them ships went every direction and landed. You dig? Noah is a time period. The Ark of Noah. Yeah. It's time to catch up and come off the fairy tales. The Ark of Noah is a time period, genius. That's when the sinking of the continent happened. Ham, Shem, and Japheth are fleets of ships. Yeah, that went in every direction, went in different directions and all that. Thousands of people survived that flood. And where the ships landed, where the fleets of Shem landed, okay, that's Shem's land. Where the fleets of Ham landed, that's Ham's land. Where the fleets of Japheth landed, that's Japheth's land. Yeah, it wasn't just one man, his 3 sons, his wife, and their wives. And they repopulated the whole earth, huh? No. It's time to come out of the fairy tales. All right, get you some understanding. See, that's objective proof right there. All right. Back at it. For the past 25,000 years, being from the submersion of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean, just showed it to you. Just showed it to you. See? You just running your mouth because you don't understand what's going on. You ain't took the time to read nothing. Being from the submersion of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean, commonly called the flood or deluge, to the Cosmine era, this era, the present time. Also, in Oahspe is a brief history of the preceding years, from man's beginning on earth to the flood. So it go back even further. The history in Oahspe go back even further. It has its own timeline. And it's broken down into arc cycles. Each arc cycle is 3,000 years roughly. So by the time you get to this present era, y'all, we already 72,000 years in, half of 144,000, which is another cosmological way of tracking time. You looking for 144,000 male virgins who ain't never had sex before. What the hell is wrong with folk? You might as well be reading Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, I know somebody mad, but look, get mad. Hopefully you do something about being mad. Also, a brief history of the preceding years from man's beginning on earth to the flood, together with a synopsis of the cosmogony of the universe. Good night, man. So we ain't just dealing with the earth here. Oahspe ain't just dealing with the earth. Remember, this is the book of sky, earth, spirit. So not only from where we at right now, we 72,000 years in. Really a little more, but we'll just put it on that basic timeline right there. By the time you licked your fingers and picked up Oahspe, man done already been on this earth. This current crop of man already been on this earth 72,000 years. Good night. Together with a synopsis of the cosmogony of the universe. What is cosmogony? It's the branch of science that deals with the origin of our universe, in particular, y'all, our solar system. Yes, you're part of a solar system. The sippy cup brews had you thinking everything flat and sitting still. And ain't nothing else out there but just the earth. And the earth is the shape of a dinner plate, a frisbee, sitting still in space. Yeah. Oahspe also tell you that that's the inspiration of the false gods. That had you believing the earth is flat and sitting still when everything is in motion, Jack. Everything is in motion. A synopsis of the cosmogony of the universe, the creation of planets, the creation of man. Look at this. And that's planets with an S. That's cosmogony of the universe, the creation of man, the unseen world, the labor or the work and glory of gods and goddesses, which are different than the creator. This is not talking about worshiping gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses are simply what? Titles and ranks of angels. A god is a rank of a male angel. A goddess is a rank of a female angel. It's not hard to understand. And I know a lot of people are in denial because Bible don't even mention female angels, maybe like once in the book of Zechariah. Over here, we got a whole history of sisters, high-raised sisters. Dig this. Some of them got higher rank than men. Yeah, the creator's daughters, boy, been putting it down for hundreds of thousands of years. Yeah. Shout out to the sisters, man. Over here, we don't subjugate our women. Yeah. Treat them like toilet bowls and second-class citizens. And that's the reason why a lot of you brews don't want to accept this. You so used to, your woman cleaning out the toilet bowl after you done blew it down, boy. So used to the woman just serving you. Jump on one foot. Whatever you like. You ain't used to no real daughter of the creator, boy, that's gonna hold you accountable. Yeah, what you doing? We gonna hold each other accountable. Girl, woman, what did you do? Sit down somewhere. What did you doing? All in love, though. Not in subjugation, not in bondage. Got you sisters looking older than you really are. Sisters can't shine, look beautiful. Like, I like a woman that look beautiful. And girl, come around here smelling good, looking good, girl. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got my attention. You got my attention. I don't know about these Stone Age Hebrews. You got my attention, woman. You glowing over there. What's up with you? What are we on tonight? Yeah. Shout out to the sisters, man. Look at this. The labor and glory of gods and goddesses in the heavens of the earth and in the Etherian heavens above them. You ain't never even heard of Etherian Bible. You ain't never even heard of Etheria in the book of Enoch. You ain't never heard nothing like this. That's why it's a primary. There ain't no Kemetic literature that bring up Etheria. Bible for sure don't bring it up. Enoch don't bring it up. Quran don't bring it up. Your ancestral worship don't bring it up. Your Babalaos, your Babalus or your Babalaos ain't bringing it up. The Asian deities ain't bringing it up. The East Indian deities ain't bringing it up. Oahspe is the only spot that bring up the Etherian worlds above them. You ain't never heard nothing like this. Over there foaming at the mouth, running your mouth, pulling a race card. Boy, if y'all don't go sit y'all monkey ass down somewhere before you get embarrassed. You see what happened to Kemet? They took a debate over cosmogony, creation, and time with the gang, and it didn't end well for them. It didn't end well for them. I probably should play the Kemet clip we got. Oh, man. It was over. Look at this. With the new commandments of Jehovah to man of the present day and other revelations from the second resurrection, formed in words in the 33rd year of the Cosmon era. That's 1881. Cosmon era started in 1848. Right before gold was discovered in 1849. Yeah, I know. Don't your Bible say wisdom is too high for a fool? Huh? Y'all picking up Oahspe, boy, that Oahspe gonna burn your hand off. It's too high for you. It's too high for you. Your best bet is to tap in with the gang or sit over there and pretend like you're not listening. Pretend like you're not listening. Because y'all ain't got nothing for us. Y'all ain't got nothing for this. Y'all don't got nothing for this over here. And all y'all know it. All right, here we go. I think we cool now. Hold on. Make sure we straight. Make sure we spotty yody. My sister Deshaun LaFake looking at. Yeah. We all good. Now look at this. This present edition is being placed in the modern American language, being the extraction, compilation, and integration of materials from the first published edition, copyright 1882, by John Bilal Newbro. And that's who everybody got a problem with. Everybody got a problem. Oh man, he had about 11 children and divorced his wife. And how is you niggas read? How is you reading about his life? Right? You got a problem with him having several children and more than one wife in his lifetime. When you lick your fingers and clutch Proverbs with so much reverence, Solomon had 700 wives and 300 hoes. Ain't no telling how many children Solomon had according to the Bible. But you still read Proverbs. David had his best friend killed for his wife, took his wife, committed adultery with her, and put 4 babies in her. You still read the book of Psalms and clutch it with the reference. And, watch David on Amazon Prime, which I must admit, I actually like that. I actually like that series. The House of David on Amazon Prime. That deal tight, actually. But nonetheless, how dare you try to come at this man? He was a man. He had a regular life. You know what I mean? Not every relationship works out. Trust me, I know. I mean, but you gonna bring up his marital life and some problems he had in his marriage life and how many children he had. But Solomon had 1,000 women. David had 17 women. David committed adultery, murder, numbered Israel, cut off the foreskins of 200 Philistines after he killed them. They're like, what are you talking about? There's no comparison. Moses was a murderer according to the Bible. Noah was a drunk. Adam was a sinner. Moses' parents, that was an unlawful union. His mom and daddy, according to the law, they wasn't even supposed to be having sex relations. Huh? What about Jacob? He married 2 sisters, Rachel and Leah. That's against the law. What are we even talking about it? Abraham was a murderer. It was about ready to murder his son. Before that, he went to war and went to war in Genesis 14 and killed a whole bunch of men. What are we talking about? But you got a problem with a dentist. Yeah, so stop it. You men don't know what you're talking about. All right. So look, let's get into some of this. Let's go read. All you got to do is go read, y'all. What is everybody mad about? Let's go read. All you got to do, instead of fat mouthing, go to the website. Here, let me go ahead and put it up in the chat so y'all can read it for yourselves. Okay? Let me put the link in the chat, man. You can read it for yourself. People are so offended at something they've never read. What are you offended about? Shout out to my sister Angelic in the house. Michigan, stand up. What's the word, sis? How you be? That's the word, sis. How you be? Y'all, I'm reading from that website I just posted in the chat. Okay? No reason to have a hissy fit. All you got to do is go read what happened. Men are saying plagiarizing and all types of madness. Let's go read. Dang. I'm like pulling teeth with you cats, man. All right. Let's go into who Dr. John Newbro is or was. Okay? It's right on the website, y'all. It's right on the website. Okay? It's not rocket science. All right, and we ain't gonna have nothing. Now, what you're gonna find out is men out here lying on him. Lying. John Bilal Newbro, vehicle for Oahspe. JBN, we call him JBN. And we never bring this man up unless y'all bring him up. You know, shout out to him for the work he did. Look, if you don't like Oahspe, you produce something better. You produce something better. Let's go read about who he was, okay? It's not hard. People are telling me he was a slave owner and a slave trader and a racist and a bigot and God, y'all gonna keep lying on this man? Just lying. Huh? Look at this right here. JBN led a varied and interesting life that ultimately prepared him for the task of a lifetime, transmitting and publishing the Oahspe. A natural clairvoyant with automatic writing ability, Newbro became the amanuensis through whom the Oahspe was transmitted, or the vehicle through whom the Oahspe was transmitted. A natural clairvoyant, meaning what, y'all? He could hear, see, and speak with the spirit world. Nah? Some of y'all done had deja vu your whole life. I had premonitions. That ain't your fault. That's just what it is. Some people have those gifts of being able to communicate with the other side. Here you go, crying witchcraft. Huh? But spilling blood ain't witchcraft. Chopping off heads ain't witchcraft. Sprinkling blood around about the altar ain't witchcraft. Cutting out organs ain't witchcraft. Cutting the fat off organs and throwing them on coals ain't witchcraft. Burnt offering your son ain't witchcraft. Burnt offering your only virgin daughter ain't witchcraft. Slitting her throat, skinning her body down to the muscle tissue, dismembering her corpse. None of that's witchcraft. A man being born with the ability to hear, speak, and see into the spirit world, that's witchcraft? Yeah. You're too, what they call that? Superstitious. Okay, let's get into it. JBN, John Bilal Newbro, 1828 through 1891. And for the record, we don't worship this man. He was another man just like me and you. Just another man. You dig? But hey, the work that he did and the work he was prepared to do, you dig? Hey, that ain't nothing to sneeze at. I'm just keeping it real. Now, if you say that, oh man, that ain't nothing, well, you produce something better then. You produce something better. Let's read about John Newbro. John Newbro was 52 years old when through his automatic writing, Oahspe was transmitted into mortal language. This event was the significant, life-changing, life-defining event for not only him, but many more people who would read Oahspe. Okay. You got a problem with him automatic writing, but you don't got a problem with Ezra in 2nd Ezra 14? Automatic mouth mumbling. A ghost, or who he called the Holy Ghost, entered into him after he drunk a fire cup of water. He started uttering words that wasn't his, which meaning the words didn't come from his own mind. And his scribes started writing swiftly, nonstop. Their hands were moving not up under their own control, but under the control of who they call the Holy Ghost. So you got a problem with this, but don't got a problem with that. Stop it, man. How else is something supernatural or spiritual supposed to make its way into the physical world? Something spiritual has to happen. That's it. Okay? Now, the only way, this would be evil if the message that came through was evil. But if the message that came through is very light revealing, very powerful, very righteous, then how are you saying it's evil? Look at this. Born on June 5th, 1828 in a log cabin in Mohican Township, Ohio, John was one of 7 children whose ancestry included Scottish, Swiss, and English. Like many pioneers, John's family raised their own food, and his father was also the local slave master. No, that says schoolmaster, genius. Look at you. Strike number 1. Lie number 1. He come from a family who owned slaves. No, he didn't. His father was a schoolmaster, a principal. Man out here lying, talking about this man owned slaves, or when they found out he didn't own, his daddy and his mama owned slaves. No, genius. His father was a principal, a local schoolmaster. Okay. John also taught school during the winter of his last year at home. When John was a young boy, his spiritualist mother taught him about the communion of angels. And John first communed with angels in the peaceful outdoors of his family home under the great oaks and sycamores. Okay, his mama was highly spiritual, tapped in. Some of y'all are big dreamers. Some of your dreams come through. Some of y'all know how to interpret dreams. There's nothing wrong with your spiritual gifts. It's these religions that teach you to be ashamed of your spiritual gifts. What you ought to be doing is developing them. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Oh, his mama was a spiritualist, and your mama go to church on Sunday and catch the Holy Ghost and drink Jesus juice. Fall out and run laps around the congregation and speak in tongues. How the hell do you twist your mouth and call this evil when your grandmama catch the Holy Ghost, speak in tongues, and run laps around the congregation? Foam at the mouth and fall out. And told you unless you got the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in tongues, you're not saved. No, his mama taught him about how to commune with angels. And he developed that skill as he grew. What's wrong with that? What are you mad about? How you mad at this, but your mama is an Eastern Star? Your grandmama an Eastern Star? Your PT and them deltas and thetas. What are you mad at this for? Think about it, man. Like everything y'all mad about, you already guilty of. Him mama taught him how to communicate with angels because she was highly she was spiritually evolved and tapped in. Some of y'all got those elders in your family, boy, that'll tell you what you finna walk up on to the letter. No, my grandmama was tapped in, even though she was, heavy into Jesus. Tapped in, boy. I tell you some stuff, boy. I had you like, dang. How'd she know that? How'd she call that down? I called it down to the shirt your enemy was wearing. Man, how did you know that? I know a sister that's still living right now. You know what I mean? She highly tapped in. Yep, sister in her 50s. Shout out to my sister, T.T. Ursh, that highly tapped in. Highly tapped in. A dream about something. I'm talking about right before it happened, and Trey called me, Mally. Hey, so and so and so, they're going to have a black shirt on. Going to walk in with some flowers. And y'all listen to me. It happened to the letter. Dang, how you know that? You just tapped in. That's it. Just tapped in. More sensitive to the spirit world that's going on around her. That's it. So look at it. When John was a young boy, his mother taught him about the communion of angels. And John first communed with angels in the peaceful outdoors of his family home under the great oaks and sycamores. John's father disapproved of spirit communion. Look at that. The schoolmaster didn't even like none of that. Right? But eventually became a spiritualist when, after his wife's passing, he received messages from her. Look at that. Witchcraft. Go sit down somewhere, man. Go sit down. How you calling this witchcraft? But Abraham being tempted to cut Isaac in pieces is not witchcraft. Okay, look at it. When he was 16, Newbro attended high school in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, he up there with y'all, Key. Up there with y'all. When he was 16, Newbro attended high school in Cleveland, Ohio, boarding with a family of a dentist and working as his assistant. Sister Tabitha will tell you, especially our peoples in the Caribbean, forget about it. Tapped all the way in. Highly sensitive when it comes to the spirit world. What is you talking about? Now look at this. With the family of a dentist and working as his assistant. Learning the practice of dentistry, which he continued until he graduated medical college as a physician at 21. What are y'all mad about? Yeah, I ain't heard nothing about drinking no blood, seances, none of it. He then worked for a short time under the supervision of his uncle, who was the head physician in an insane asylum. Newbro's adventurous spirit took him to California, to the California gold fields in 1849, where he found gold. JBN hit the lottery, man. Struck gold. You know what? To be honest with you, he struck gold twice in his life. I don't know what you mad about that. I heard a Israelite the other night. You know, you was talking to my brother, the minister of wellness. He was like, he was rich. Boy, you just mad because you work for $12 an hour. You mad at this man because you mad. What you counting his pockets for? The hell you mad about? Because he jumped out there and struck gold. Newbro's adventurous spirit took him to the California gold fields in 1849, where he found gold. Look what he did. Did he keep it to himself? No. He shared part of his good fortune with his family back in Ohio. Look at that, broke bread. He wasn't selfish with it. He shared part of his good fortune with his family back in Ohio, where his parents and younger siblings still lived. He also cared for the sick and fevered. Oh, so he used his riches to do good. To look out for the less fortunate. Look out for his family. Same thing my brother, Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan, is doing. Use the riches that he receive in, or use the goods he get in to help what? Feed folk. Clothe folk. What's wrong with that? Why are you so offended? I ain't heard nothing evil yet. He also cared for the sick and fever during his time in the gold fields. John witnessed and deplored the injustice of what, y'all? What? Bigotry. That's racism. So that's, again, men overall. He was a racist. No, let's read it again. Let's read it again. You men are liars. You're lying. And why your God got you lying about something that's righteous, something that's good? Because you're in league with a devil, a demon. Your God is false. And your elevator is stuck in the basement. How about that? John witnessed and deplored the injustice of bigotry, especially toward the Chinese and the general grab for personal fortune. Here he teamed up with Scottish-born John Turnbull, with whom he traveled to the Australian gold fields, look at that, of Ballarat, Victoria around 1851. This man over here done hit gold in California, and then he done went to Australia and struck gold again. He hit gold twice. So in other words, y'all, that's like hitting the Powerball twice in today's time. Hey, what you mad about? With whom he traveled to the Australian gold fields of Ballarat, Victoria around 1851. After a couple of more years of living in a tent and adding considerably to his gold fortune, he sailed to Europe, China, India, Africa, and many far-off places before returning to the U.S. You know what's wrong with that? The man that hit gold twice in his life. Use his riches to look out for the less fortunate. No, not you. You'd have blew your money on you'd have blew your money on pounds of weed and tennis shoes. And taking and whores and taking your women's out to eating. He did what was right. Look at this right here. Newbro began practice as a physician in Cincinnati, but soon switched to dentistry, which he practiced successfully for many years. His concern for the needs of the suffering poor, so you look at that, led Newbro to develop an inexpensive alternative rubber composition that made dentures more accessible to the poor. He always was looking out for the poor. He wasn't a hoarder of wealth. Looking out for the poor. So all you men that's running your mouth, who don't got all your who don't got all your whistlers in your mouth, all your bicuspids and molars, you could have used a John B, a JB, and a John Bilal Newbro. Look what he was doing. He was coming up with a way so you can have your chops in your mouth. An inexpensive way for the poor to look good by the mouth. What's wrong with this? What are you mad about? Some of y'all looking like Crip Mac by the mouth. You dig? And need a grill to cover up your missing teeth. Well, if John Newbro was living today, he'll hook you up. Hook your chops up. Come up with an inexpensive way so you can look good by the mouth, boy. You over here mad, calling him the devil, calling him racist. Look at it. The profit-driven Dunlop Rubber Company attempted court action to suppress the cheaper product, but failed. So, look, he was being sued in court by a rubber company because he came up with an inexpensive way for the poor to have good-looking chops in their mouth. And you gravel sandwich eating musty Negroes are mad about it. Stop it, man. Newbro also published a number of his own writings. His pre-Oahspe publications include several social commentary novels and what poetry? Nothing evil thus far. Look at this. In 1860, Newbro married Rachel Turnbull in her native Scotland. The Newbro settled at 128 West 24th Street in New York, where he also practiced dentistry until 1884. They had 3 children, but one died in infancy. Made a baby rise in power. Newbro's ability to see and hear spirits and automatic writing talent, his interest and investigations into spiritualism and mediumship, his various philanthropic activities and social civic reform activism, as well as generous donations to the needy, became contentious issues in his marriage. Him being so charitable, caused his marriage to dissolve. Him being a reformist, an activist, him being philanthropic, meaning he gave most of his riches away. He gave most of it away. And it says he was investigating spiritualism and mediumship because there was a high level of spiritual activity going on in the mid 1800s. High levels all over the earth. We that read Oahspe know why. You know what I mean? Because it was the beginning of the Cosmon era. And at the beginning of every arc cycle was all type of spiritual manifestations that happen. We know why. We know why. Most folk don't. All right. Look at this right here. By the time he adopted a vegan diet around 1870, he and his wife were living separate lives under the one roof until 1884. When Newbro departed, leaving the residence and his thriving dental practice to his separated wife. Newbro was divorced in 1886 and married Frances Van de Water, who was the mother of his youngest child, Justine. Okay. What the hell is wrong? What you saying? His first marriage didn't work out because of his activism and social and civic reform, because of his philanthropy, and meaning he gave most of his stuff away because him looking out for the poor, and then look, he get divorced and he leaves his thriving business to his separated wife. This wasn't a man that was bound by his riches. Newbro's life changed. And I find it quite, Cal brought this to my understanding. Y'all, do y'all know this is not even a photograph. And they had cameras back then. This man was famous. Do y'all know this is the only drawing of this man? Online, period. This is the only drawing of this man. And look, the photographs was out. The cameras was already invented. People were taking photographs in the 1880s, 1870s, 1860s. There's photographs of Abraham Lincoln. The only surviving picture of JBN is a drawing. You're looking at it. I find that quite rare. Like, this man was a rock star of his day. Struck gold twice, had about 20 inventions, was a published author. Was into philanthropy and civic and social reform. You dig? Came up with ways to relieve the stress on the poor. Came up with ways so the poor could look good by the chops. And the only picture that you have is a drawing of this man. That's quite odd. That's quite odd. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I ain't really tripping off what a thing look like. What's the message? And for on the record, we don't worship this man. He's just a man. Y'all just mad because he's the one that's all this light came through. It's just what it is. You'll be all right. Newbro became vegan following a momentous angelic visitation where he was asked if he could do a work for the creator. Look at that. To which he agreed. The angels advised him that to prepare for such a work would take 10 years, during which time he was to adopt a vegan diet, practice clean habits, including daily bathing, introspection for self-improvement, meaning every day he's judging himself, right? And providing service to others regardless of profit. Look at that. You want to know how to raise your spiritual grade? You want to know how to tap into the spirit world? It start with purity. It start with diet. You got to let the flesh go. Stop chewing on those dead animals. This is what the angels told him. And we see the fruit of it. Oahspe came through. Oahspe came through. So he's giving you the blow-by-blow playbook on what you need to do. You want to tap in? You want to produce something as great or even greater than what this is? Well, this is what you got to do, Jack. You got to tap in. How do you tap in? The angels advised him. Here you go. The angels advised him that to prepare for such a work would take 10 years. During which time he was to adopt a vegan diet, practice clean habits, including daily bathing. You got to wash that stinking rear end. You've been sleeping in the same garment for the past 10 years. Practice clean habits, including daily bathing, introspection for self-improvement, and providing service to others regardless of profit. Regardless of profit. No matter if you're making some money up off of it. We're here to serve the poor. During that period, Newbro published Spiritualis, Spirit's Interview in 1874, which is a marvelous read. So it ain't just like Oahspe that he, came out with, or they came through. Y'all look up Spiritualis. The PDF should be online. It's a marvelous read. I read it. I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, you know, talking about marriage and a whole bunch of other topics. You dig? Oh, I don't want to read that, but you read King James Demonology, though. Like, shut the hell up, man. Y'all sound goofy. By 1876, Newbro's health and spiritual condition had improved so much so that his mediumship blossomed to the extent that angels no longer held his hands for automatic writing, but over his head while a light from above fell on his hand. He could now see the angels' materialized hands and hear them speaking in his presence. Instructed by Spirit to buy a typewriter, Newbro acquired the first Scholes and Glidden typewriter in 1878. He began to practice, but developed very little typing competency, meaning he couldn't type, y'all. The man couldn't even type. Look at this. Look at this. I ain't heard nothing evil yet. He did, look, giving you the blueprint on how it all came through. You willing to make such a sacrifice? During the following 2 years, the angels had Newbro research various scientific subjects, such as astronomy, and write down the accepted logic of the scholars in those particular fields. The angels questioned Newbro on these topics systematically as he completed each subject. Excuse me. They informed him that there was little or no accurate information in all the subjects covered. Look at that. Angels told him, go study these topics, right? And then write down the accepted logic or what was agreed upon amongst the scholars of that day in those fields, astronomy and all that, right? And then the angels told him little or no accurate information was even being brought forth by the scientists of his day. Bad drop, boy. And remind you, this is before your Nikola Teslas. They in the early 1900s. This is before your Albert Einsteins. They in the early 1900s. JBN, Oahspe was already heard by the time Nikola Tesla started breathing or pulling oxygen through his nostrils. Oahspe was already heard by the time Albert Einstein started pulling oxygen through his nostrils. The angels told him that the accepted truth through the scientific community of his day had little or no accurate information in all the subjects covered. Look at that. Look at this right here. Hold on, y'all. Let me grab this real quick. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that Spiritualis is fire. It is. Hold on 1 second. Make it all make sense. Yeah, but y'all King Mac, you right. The Daniel fast, exactly. Yep, and before Delbert Blur. Delbert Blur was another one. He just would never come outside and say that, you know, hey man, I'm getting this out of Oahspe, even though he was. He talking about Stantes and all that. Boy, that's in Oahspe. Right? So the angels again questioned Newbro on those topics systematically as he completed each subject. They informed him that there was little or no accurate information in all the subjects covered. Afterwards, they told him that the purpose of this exercise was to clear his mind of human fallacies. See that? So that the subject matter of the work he was to undertake would not be influenced by his own thoughts. Look at that. It is also likely that during these 2 years, there were practice sessions on the typewriter with the angels taking control so as to develop a clear, steady connection in preparation for the transmission of Oahspe. One early morning before sunrise in the spring of 1880, Newbro was sitting at his desk and the light struck both his hands, and they went for the typewriter and typed very vigorously for 15 minutes. The angels told him not to read what was written. So he typing, but they like, look, don't read nothing you type. See that? This pattern continued every day before sunrise in 15 to 30-minute sessions for 50 weeks, damn near a whole year. Newbro was instructed not to read any of the typed pages for the whole 50 weeks until the transmission was complete. You mean to tell me this man typed this up and didn't read any of it until 50 weeks was over, until the transmission was complete? Look at that. Imagine you writing a book, but you don't get to proofread it. Following an unpublished, incomplete edition in 1881, the Lamp Proof Sheets, Oahspe was published by the Oahspe Publishing Association sometime in late September or early October 1882, more than a year after transmission, with 3,000 copies printed. Y'all hear how this deal came through? What have you heard that's evil thus far? Any blood spilling? Any organ cutting? Any Holy Ghost foaming at the mouth, wig flying off your head, running laps? No, you see, when the angel ambassadors of the Creator came and hollered at him, told him exactly what to do. He did it. You dig? And then what comes through? This Oahspe comes through. You see, we ain't heard nothing evil yet. And you got men out here talking about this is evil, is witchcraft. He was a racist. His family owned slaves. All of that is a lie. These men are lying to you. But it makes sense the false gods will come up with something to keep you from really opening up this book and read. They got to come up with something. You dig? And trip off this, y'all gave you the blueprint on how you can get inspired. Go ahead and get that diet together. Stop chewing on that animal flesh. Let go of them animal products. Start getting up early in the morning. Wash that rear stinking in every morning and every evening. Sit up and reflect, meditate on how you can be a better man, woman, or child. Do service to the poor. And they gave you the whole blueprint on what you need to do. Everybody want to put crystals in their bed, in their bed pillow or their pillowcase. Drink ash water. I remember everybody was drinking volcanic black water back in the day. Or drink atomic gold. That boy 19 Keys was selling liquid gold back in the day. Everything but what's required for you to level up and tap into the spirit world, which comes down to y'all purity and service to the poor. And the man was willing to do it. Come on, man. We got to do better than just, playing the race card. Man. This is starting to get goofy. Right? And we say, Key, I wonder what he said when the light hit his head. God damn! Boy, one of us say, damn! What the hell going on? Man, I know some light hit my hands, boy. Yeah, goddamn and shit mess around. Whoa! That mess around come right flying off my mouth. What is this? But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hey, man. You dig? But look, gave you the blueprint on how you can get inspired and tap in with the angelic forces that are all around you. The angel ambassadors of the Creator. Right? It ain't by, sitting down and humming all damn day. You dig? I ain't even against the crystals and all that angelic. I ain't against none of that. I'm just saying. Like everybody is doing everything opposite of what's needed. You dig? To tap in. And obviously, this man did exactly what was told to him, and look what we got. Right. In November 1883, 63 people gathered at Pearl River, New York, forming the Oahspe Lodge of Faithists. Their goal was to promote the Shalom Orphanage Plan. See, it was all about the orphans. See, shout out to my brother, the Minister of Wellness, once again. And he ain't even read Oahspe. He just moving off the inspiration. After that, Newbro wrote The Government and Bylaws of Faithist Fraternities, which was somewhat modeled on Oahspe's Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth, which is like the last book in Oahspe. You see that? In that same year, Newbro and Francis Van de Water cared for a number of infants at the Pearl River Farm. There goes the picture of it right there. Now people talking about they was living in shacks, and look at that. Look at that. The Shalom Orphan Home in Dona Ana, New Mexico. By 1884, with the financial backing of an Oahspe reader, Andrew Holland, Newbro purchased 1,490 acres of land at Dona Ana. Y'all heard this? That's almost 1,500 acres. 1 acre is like a football field. This is 1,500 football fields on a bend of the Rio Grande near Las Cruces, New Mexico, where the Shalom colony was to be established. In October 1884, Newbro and a small party of about a dozen volunteer faithists with infant orphans took up residence at Shalom. The members and children were strict vegetarians, although honey was included in their diet. What's wrong? What's wrong? In March 1885, the volunteer members were informed that county deed records showed that Howland was the sole owner of the property. This caused a wave of shock and dismay, for they thought Howland's financial support was donated and the property was held in common. So, it's always some type of money issue, man. See that? Always some type of money issue going on. That's why you gotta really dot your I's and cross your T's. You really gotta dot your I's and cross your T's, man. Look at BC. Look at this right here. All the volunteers, include Newbro, who joined the colony, were required to give up all possessions. So he had to give up his too, giving away all that they had before they could enter. Consequently, the members requested the property be transferred to resident volunteers. By December 1885, there were some 10 children and 47 members. Of these, there were probationary members and consecrated members. 24 consecrated members became incorporated as a legal entity, the Church of Tay, and a conditional deed of trust was signed between the Church of Tay and Howland. Howland became a resident of Shalom in February 1886, although he did not become a member of the Church of Tay. Shortly thereafter, disagreements arose regarding the direction of the colony, and consequently, Howland revoked the deed of trust and demanded payment of $37,282 for the property, which was a condition of the trust. The Board of Trustees of the Church of Tay returned the property to Howland in March 1886. You see this? This is going over the financial troubles they end up having. That's why, getting together, y'all, we got to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. You got to make sure everybody tight, right? But see, we can look back and read on this and understand what not to do. That's it. You ain't heard nothing evil happening yet, though. Right? You got people saying that JBN stole people money and he had to give up everything he had too, because everything was supposed to have been had in common, right? Howland evicted 5 members and the remainder of the party as well, except for Newbro and 4 others. 3 of the evicted residents filed court proceedings for compensation, but ultimately failed. Following the evacuation of the majority of Shalom's volunteers, new members were sought, but the numbers of volunteers remained low, with most of the orphan care falling to Frances Newbro, the much-loved mother figure to the children. That's JBN's wife. During the trial, only Howland remained at Shalom. Newbro and the few other volunteer residents remained absent from Shalom for almost 3 years, from 1887. During her absence, Newbro and Francis resided in New Orleans. Look at that. New Orleans. And published a monthly periodical seeking infants and volunteers for Shalom. They established a receiving home in New Orleans, and a number of infants arrived in Shalom up to 1890. Look at this. Look at this. What they say? I'm debating someone right now on a false God Yahweh and feeding her info on what you preached on El, granting rights to Yahweh involved. Had another chat. She thankful for sharing the Oahspe Bible. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, family. Yeah, hey, keep light bombing. Keep light bombing. That's right. Keep light bombing. All right, right here. In 1887, while he was in New Orleans, Newbro wrote Leviticus, a plan for the next phase of Shalom, where many of the high standards would be compromised with the expectation that more volunteers would be attracted to join. The hope was that such volunteers would eventually rise up to the standards of Shalom as expounded in Oahspe. Along this new plan, Howland had a village built and animal husbandry was instituted for egg and milk production. The plan, however, did not produce the results that were hoped for, as few people responded, but nothing came of those as to permanent membership. In the spring of 1891, there were only 2 or 3 other volunteer members other than the Newbros. A severe influenza epidemic hit the Shalom colony. When the few able adults came down with fever, there was no relief for the care of the children and sick. Newbro himself ill, tended to the sick, but he overcome with pneumonia and exhaustion, he passed in the spirit. And that's in 1891, right? When Howland was alone in Shalom from 1887, he began making notes for a new edition of Oahspe, and when Newbro returned from New Orleans in 1889, they continued editing together until in 1891. It was when Howland was away in Boston organizing the publication of the new edition that the influenza epidemic struck the colony, and Newbro passed on April 22nd, just months before the second edition was published. Howland then wrote the foreword to the 1891 edition, which had 6,000 copies printed. All right, so this is what it is right here, y'all. The end of Shalom and the beginning of many more. All right, so look, you ain't read nothing evil. You just reading the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of what it is. All right, and we ain't had nothing. All right, yeah. May you rise and pop. May you be blessed for bringing forth a great and marvelous work, man. I can't front. I ain't read nothing higher than it yet. I done read a lot of it. Your Rancher, I done read a lot of your so-called spiritual books out there. Oahspe is just a different level. You dig? But we ain't read nothing about the racism, the him stealing money, him killing folk, him keeping all the money that he made. The man looked out for the poor, service to the poor. Struck gold twice, was a published author. JBM was, he got a few patents out there too. That man was a rock star for the most part, you dig? But he gave all his stuff away to the less fortunate. Even came up with a way for the poor to look good by the chops. You over here mad. Following Newbro's passing, Howland married his widow. Look at that, Francis, in 1893. In those times, it was not unusual for widowed men and women to remarry because of economic necessity and to avoid the social stigma of unmarried men and women living in the same home. Howland continued to sink what was left of his fortune into building and implementing Leviticus and trying to make Shalom self-sufficient with agricultural products, including cows and chickens for dairy and egg production, with little success. The spring flood of 1900 washed away the buildings and land upon which Leviticus had been built. The following spring, Howland received the conditional transfer deeds from Leviticus, and 24 children under the age of 14 were sent away to various homes and orphanages. In November 1907, after exhausting his $400,000 plus fortune, Howland and his family left Shalom and settled in El Paso, Texas. 3 Shalom children who went with the Howlands to El Paso, Texas, from left to right, of Rollo, Rao, Nina, Nin, and Fiatisi, Fifi. Children don't look like they were starving. That's the sister right here on the left at the low. She looked like she about that action. Like she'll slap the taste out your mouth, boy. Hmm. This is the end of this right here. You're doing the work, man. I mean, what's the problem? During the existence of Shalom, lodges of faith has continued to meet in most of the large cities of the U.S., forming what was called the Outer Council. Part of their function was to provide support to Shalom. Each lodge was independent with its own chief, with meetings and records. After Shalom stopped receiving orphans in 1901, the Denver, Colorado Lodge was formed in 1898 and incorporated as the Brotherhood of Light, acquired land and adopted children in Colorado and later in California. They consider themselves as the third attempt to found the Father's kingdom on earth, the first being Shalom and the second being Levitica. After the first three attempts, other attempts were made to create a Shalom colony, one well-known being Wing Anderson's Essenes of Cosmon in Utah, and then later Colorado for a few decades, starting in the late 1930s. You see? See, right on the website. Who was John Bilal Newbro? Was he a racist? Did he own slaves? Was he a bigot? Did he rob the poor? Huh? None of that stuff they talking about out here, y'all. They're making this stuff up as they go. Let's get into this doc we put together. Shout out to my brother, Cosmon Cal, the Cloud Kicker. Yep, Cosmon Cal, the Cloud Kicker. All praise and glory. And look, if y'all want access to that that document that I did on the Minister of Wellness channel about El Ball and Yahweh, just email me y'all Gmail, and I'll just add you to it. My email is right here. I'm putting in the chat now. Email me here at honorandhumilitystl@gmail.com. And I'll just add you to the doc, and then you can go ahead and take it and download it and make copies of it, and you know what I mean, share what you need to share. It's all there. You dig? It's all there. All right, let's get into this rumors doc. We got a little time. You feel me? And if we, run out of time, we always do a part 2, 3, 4, and 5. It ain't no problem. Y'all, we been had this. And that's why we be looking at these mumble mouth midgets that so hell bent at spreading lies about Oahspe. You dig? We like, look, y'all not reading. Let's get into this. Yakeem Mack, what's the deal, my brother? I seen you been putting that post up with that L and that El Yon boy, them Canaanite dudes. Man, Genesis 14, if Melchizedek is the king of Jerusalem, if he a king, that means he got a kingdom, he got a throne, and he got a people he rule over. And he's a priest. So if he got a priest, there's a temple, there's a priesthood, there's offerings, there's an altar. All that's going on by the time your boy Abraham skip into the land of Canaan. Good night, boy. That's already happened. Regardless if you're trying to say that's Shem or not, in the land of Canaan, brother. What a kingdom. Sitting on the throne, with a crown on his head. Officiating at the altar, offering up offerings and burnt offerings, and if you a high priest, that means you got a whole priesthood backing you. Yeah, it's just what it is. Just what it is. Let's get into this right here. Lies, rumors, and misconceptions commonly applied to Oahspe. Who are the people of the book? Who are the people of the book? Let me see if I can. There we go, right there. Let's get into this. Beyond the fact that the Creator says all people are his people, also the fact that Oahspe has a whole chapter dedicated to the true Israelites, and the fact that it is the only spiritual book in the world that reveals that the American Negro is the American Indian. Also, Creator reveals that the copper-colored Negroidal people of America will be the catalyst bloodstock to birth an entire new race of people on the planet. Let that sink in for a second. Book 29 in Oahspe. What's book 29, Malachi? Let's go look it up so I can show you. Book 29 is Book of S, daughter of Jehovah. Shout out to the daughter. Book of S, chapter 20, verse 37. But in this era, I do not come to an exclusive people, but to the combination of all peoples co-mingled together as one people. Hence, I have called this the Cosmine era. Ooh-wee. From this time forward, my chosen shall be of the amalgamated races. Yeah, y'all mixed up anyway. Ain't no pure-blooded nothing coming around here, man. Ain't no pure-blooded European. Ain't no pure-blooded African. Y'all amalgamated. Y'all. Why do you think it's different phenotypes and bone structures and colors and sizes and From this time forward, my chosen shall be of the amalgamated races who choose me. And these shall become the best, most perfect of all peoples on the earth. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Yeah, Yahshua and Oahspe was after the Essene order. They were Essenes. It was Essenes. Bible says that Jesus is after the order of Melchizedek, but Melchizedek is a king and priest in Jerusalem by the time Abraham even arrives in the land of Canaan. And he's a king and a priest to the god El. That's that order. So every priesthood offer up offerings and sacrifices and, But Joshua or Jesus in Oahspe is a Nazarene or an Essene. Yeah. It's a whole different, you know what I mean? And over this way, we ain't dealing with the blood sacrifices. You did. Matter of fact, it tell you in the Bible that the Creator never gave burnt offerings and sacrifices at all. You dig? So how could Jesus be a replacement for the sacrificial system that his Father never gave in the first place? You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff we just got to go back to the drawing board on and just let the apologists defend it. The Bible just says what it says. We ain't really tripping off of it. If it speaks to life, love, health, and good works, then that's right and exact. I ain't got no problem with it. When you get to talking about all this superficial blood spilling, altar building, head chopping, blood atonement and all that, I just leave that shit where it's at, bro, to be honest. You know what I mean? Look at it. Book of Ashan. Why do the faithless take in or adopt the unloved and unwanted children of this world? Besides the simple moral fact that it is a good thing to do, Oahspe says in the Book of Ashan, it is better to labor with a child from infancy and then to maturity, to teach it rightly, than to strive with a score or 20 of conceited adults and fail to redeem them. See, y'all, we need to focus on the short leggers, the children. You know what I mean? Once you become an adult, you become bullheaded. You a bull and you already stuck in your way. We better off dealing with the short leggers. The short leggers and the short runners. Huh? I'm trying to tell you, boy. Look, boy, I get a kick out of boy, I be around my short leggers, boy. I'm telling you, you gonna be doing some laughing because they so pure and innocent. You did, but they know what they be doing too. Like, I see you over there wilding. Yeah, got my old Oahspe about to get into. Hey man, I salute you on your journey, my brother Nazir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. Hey, Oahspe is a great read, in my humble opinion. I ain't never read nothing like it. And, you did talking to a brother that read a lot. Read a lot of the spiritual texts. Every end of Israel, whether you're dealing with Jewish or Israelite mysticism, Kabbalah, Zohar, read all that and read your Mishnahs or the oral tradition Mishnahs and parts of the Talmud. I couldn't get too far in that Talmud. Though. That stuff, like that might as well be the book of Leviticus. I never could read through Leviticus without falling asleep. Like, what the hell am I reading? I know now why. It's blood matching. You know what I mean? I done read all the pseudepigraphers, the lost books, the pseudepigraphers of the Old and New Testament, Book of Adam and Eve, and the Enoch, first Enoch, second Enoch, third Enoch. I done read all the Clementine literature. I done read all of it, bro. You know what I mean? I done read the Urantia book, the Law One. Started reading the Megillah. What else, man? There was one a while back. Everybody was the sealed portion. That's what it is. Everybody was up in arms about that one. I started reading that till they showed and there they got your boy Jesus officiating a gay wedding between his disciples. I was like, man, let me close this madness up, man. What else? I done read a lot of it. I got plenty of books. I read all your church fathers, Epiphanius and Origen, and all of them, man. Eusebius, all of them. I done read a lot. So, in my humble opinion, I ain't never read nothing like Oahspe. Oahspe's a whole nother level. It is. It hit different than everything. Hold on, what? Yeah, so. Yep, man. Start in the beginning, man. Yeah, look, it's gonna take you on a whole timeline, and just remember, with each new cycle, a whole 3,000 years and pass. You gonna like that. Yeah. All right, so look what it says right here in the book of Ashang, Oahspe, chapter 4, verse 6. It is better to labor with a child from infancy and then to maturity to teach it rightly than to strive with a score 20 of conceited adults and fail to redeem them. Who are the mockers of charity more than they who give to those who can help themselves but will not? Wisdom and uprightness of heart are like bread. Do not preach to unwelcome ears. Look at that. Or sermons of wisdom to be forced into men's souls. So you don't want it, but look, the worst thing that can happen for the naysayers is for us to be quiet. Do not preach to unwelcome ears. It ain't for y'all anyway. Leave you bullheaded, musty Negroes alone. But let it be known, I play ball. We play ball over here. And we gonna put points on the scoreboard. This ain't what you want. Stay on over in your little cubby holes. You dig, and smell your own breath over there. We gonna keep light bombing. But notice what it says. Don't even be preaching to unwelcome ears. Right? But most importantly, what is the end goal for these children in Oahspe? Book of Jehovah's Kingdom on earth. Chapter 23 and 7. And it came to pass that the offspring of these were indeed a new race in the world. As the wisdom, love, purity, and spirituality. And also new in beauty and shapeliness. The like of which had never been before in all the ages of the world. And they were by birth so developed in suis, meaning clairvoyant. They could hear, speak, and see into the spirit world. That when they were grown, a little education came to them without books. See? To see and to hear either corporally or spiritually was all they required in order to wisely accomplish all things required for mortals. Look at that. You see? So developed to where they just so tapped into the spirit world to where they really don't need too much instruction. They don't need your textbooks like we need textbooks to learn. They can come in and read the room and understand exactly what's going on. Read the spirit in the room too. And the heavens were like an open book for them. The libraries of the heavens is the sound of voices full of wisdom. I mean, they can observe creation and learn everything they needed to know. Proving also that this level of light which accompanies accountability is not for everyone. I know that. It's true. This is only for those who are actually trying to gain information to better themselves and those around them. So if you're not about that, then this is not for you. It's not. It's not. Go chew on your loin meat. Plus, how is it possible that a people who admit readily that they would kill their own children to then turn around and attempt to give someone parenting advice? You say oxymoron. Exactly. You brews are all saying you would kill your children if your God told you to. So how in the hell could you give any of us faith this parenting advice? This is a book that JBN wrote called The Book of the Prophet. What happens to evil men or slave masters once they cross over? This is in chapter 3. Y'all look up The Book of the Prophet by John Bilal Newbro. Look at this chapter 3, boy. Look what happens to slave masters once he cross over. If y'all getting some understanding so far, y'all drop a 4,000 in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to my brother Kyle for putting this powerful document together 4 years ago. Ben had this, and we know we share all our information with each other, so it ain't nothing to be like, what? Hold on, you said what? Pull this up real quick. Easy work. Y'all, that's why we laugh at the, all the naysayers, the Girl Scouts of Israel, who call themselves the Army of Israel. We laugh at them. We laugh at a JJ 7000 and the kittens den. And then we laugh at all that, man. You dig? Because we know, right? We done already answered and did all this. This is easy work for us. Look at this right here. This is easy money for the gang, man. It ain't nothing for us to go through it. Look at this. The prophet said, these are the judgments of God, son of the creator. This is to the slave master. Now, I'm gonna remind you, this is written in a time when slavery is thick in the air. Writing something like this will get you tarred and feathered and called a Negro lover. And look what JBN's writing for those who say this man is a racist. The prophet said, these are the judgments of God, son of Jehovah. Thy God holdeth thee for the iniquities of all your people, wherein you were party to the crimes committed. To the nation who saith, behold me, my people are free, and all men participate in the governments of men, so shalt thou be bound both in this world and the next, wherein you did bind your people in what? Slavery. The judgment of your God is upon all your people. Look at JBN talking to the so-called European race and any race of man who had subjugated, dominated, and held in bondage any group of people. Wherein you did is bind. Notice what it say. It say, so shall you be bound, both in this world, locked down, bound, both in this world and the next, wherein you did bind your people in slavery. The judgment of your God is upon all your people. Slave master get it worse than the slave he had bound. Look at this. Nevertheless, doubly bound is he who directly held his fellow man in bondage. Doubly bound. Wait. You owe that back to the board twice. Master Crenshaw, or hell, if you're talking about the first black man that was a slave owner that sued in court and won to keep another black man his slave for life. The man goes by the name of Anthony Johnson in the 1600s in Virginia. A black man was a slave owner, and he sued in court in Virginia. I looked the court records up. I couldn't believe it. I looked the court records up. This black man sued in court and won, and it was judged and determined. The decision of the court was that another black man was to be his slave for life. Nevertheless, doubly bound is he who directly held his fellow man in bondage. Nor have Jehovah, creator, who was over all, limited his times and seasons by the death of any man. That you don't escape none of this because you die. It follow you. It follow you into the spirit world. All the whipping, all the lynching, all the hanging, all the raping, all the degradation, Y'all, our forefathers and foremothers who went through that, getting them some get back right now. You don't get to get back. It didn't happen to you. It happened to them. Yeah. 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 Look at this. But they who commit crime shall answer in the next world for the sins done in this one. Look at that. Your brothers today crime. We nothing ever happened because of slavery. Shit. Yeah. That's because Bible don't tell you about the spirit world. Huh? And how slave master got to pay that back to the boy twice. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Look at this right here. God said, because thy slaves went out in darkness and have become wandering spirits, dwelling in ignorance around about the earth. There is no resurrection for them in this day. Yeah, you sent them into the spirit world angry, ignorant, as wandering spirits. So it's your job to clean that up, Mr. Slave Master. And you don't escape that because you die. The heavens of thy God are above them, nor have they put away the vengeance in their hearts. You mean, you see, you hung them, you burnt them, you skinned them. You produce millions of angry, vengeful spirits that's waiting on that ass, boy. Oh my God. But just imagine having millions of bodies on your jacket that you torture like an Adolf Hitler. A modern day Vladimir Putin. A modern day, what's that maniac in North Korea, Kim Jong mentally ill. Imagine having all the King Leopold of Belgium. Your slave masters in the West. Imagine having thousands and even millions of bodies on your jacket, boy, that you tortured. And you get sent into the spirit world and they waiting on that ass. Boy, hey, look, I wouldn't want to be the Queen of England. No more slaves bringing you tea and crumpets. No more slaves bringing you tea and crumpets. Waiting on that ass. Yeah. The heavens of thy God are above them, nor have they put away the vengeance in their hearts because of the injustice done them in mortality. Tens of millions of them loiter about their old places, even as they lived on earth, but with evil intent on the living. And they pursue the living with wrath, torment them day and night with evil inspirations. Good night, boy. Look at this. And the living have become corrupt and wicked at heart, nor do they prosper in anything under the sun. And when they die after mortality, their souls enter the next world to become surrounded with the hate of their former slaves. Look at that, boy. Them slaves surround that ass. Got us one. There he is. There he is right there. You mean to tell me this ain't justice? What about that black-hearted, urine-drinking bastard that gunned down Sonia Massey in her kitchen while she was calling on Jesus? He just died in jail yesterday. Can you imagine his reality, boy? Ooh-wee. I wouldn't want to be him. You owe that back to the boy. Woof. Their souls enter the next world to become environed with the hate of their former slaves. In companies of millions. Do the spirits of darkness encompass them, surround them. And there is no resurrection for any of them, slave or slave master, to any of the higher heavens. Neither doth it avail them any good to pray for the priest. No, ain't no you going to the priest and you just wiped out the Gambino crime family and you finna give the priest $1 million. No, it don't work like that. Who you tortured and killed, they want that get back. They own that ass, boy. Yeah, all that blood you spilled, you owe that back to the boy. Then you got a work to do. Then after they so angry with you and they get to long stomping you for however long until they get tired, then you got to convince all these thousands and millions of souls that you tortured to become cool with you. Then You got to convince all these thousands and millions of souls, to seek the Creator. And guess what? You stuck right here with them, laboring with them, until you raise the lowest of them up past you in spirit grade. Only then can you start your resurrection process. Slave master, Queen of England. Yeah. The slave master get the worst end of the deal when he get to the spirit world. It's a wrap for thou, boy. It's a wrap for thou. Man, look. Look at this. Neither does it avail them any good to pray for the priest, nor a church to help them. For the evil that was done must be paid back, must be compensated in every fraction before there shall be any redemption for them. You owe that back to the board, boy. Belt the ass. What? The spirits of the slaves are in ignorance and crime, and thy God putteth it upon thee that till you have turned to, talking to the slave master, and lifted them up, raised them up. You dig? Which means you got to raise their spirit grade. You got to put them on the understanding who the Creator is now. After they calm down and finish whooping your ass for thousands of years. Neither shall you raise to the heaven. Look what it say. Till you have turned to and lifted them up, even with yourself. You shall find no peace of soul. Neither shall you raise to the heavens of your God. Moreover, even as you does this day, curse the race you have neglected and despised. Yeah, what you thought slave master got away with this? So dost thou sink yourself in deeper bondage. The more racist you are, the more hateful you are, the more bound you are in spirit. It don't benefit you. You got to let that hate go. You can't even rise up being hateful, being vengeful, being racist. The more hateful and racist you are, the more bound, the deeper you sink into bondage, spiritually speaking. And don't worry, they waiting on you. They waiting on you, boy. Even as thou dost this day curse the race thou hast neglected and despised, so dost thou sink thyself in deeper bondage. For as Jehovah quickened into life all the living, and thus made them his children, so are they your brothers and sisters. Nor have anyone any prestige in the sight of our Father, who is over all. God said, till you can take them, talking to the slave master, till you can take the slaves to your heart and soul and say, my brother and my sister, in this world, there shall be no prosperity for your people. And even so shall it continue to be so in the next world. Y'all, do that sound like the words of a racist to you? Do that sound like somebody that owns slaves or his family owned slaves to you? He just told you was coming to the slave master, to the king, to the queen, to those who torture their slaves. John Bilal Nubro or JBN was not a racist, and he did not own slaves. No, he didn't. His family didn't either. And he wrote this when slavery was thick in the earth. And he telling the people that own slaves, there will be no prosperity for your people. And guess what's waiting on that ass when you get over there? Them angry, vindictive slaves you sent into the spirit world. And guess what? After they finish long stomping you and getting vengeance on you, and they calm down, then you got to convince them to be cool with you. Then you got to convince them about who the Creator is. Then you got to raise their spirit grade up even past you, the lowest of them, until you can look them in their face and say, my brother and my sister, boy, you bound right here, stuck. You ain't going nowhere. Ooh-wee. It sounds to me, slave master get the worst end of the bargain. All right, Creator does not award, nor does the faithless. Book of Inspiration, Oahspe 32 and 13. Judgment is rendered against every nation and all people in the world who carry on war or who are accessory to war, in which any man created alive by Jehovah is slain in defense of any king or other ruler, or defense of any country or government in the world, and whether any war is offensive or defensive. My judgment is against its aiders and abettors, and against the kings and queens or other rulers who are parties to war, willingly, knowingly, or otherwise. And I judge him guilty also, who is general, General Johanna, Commodore, Captain, Captain Crunch, Captain Zoyak, sergeant or private that engages in war or takes part in it, aiding, abetting, or otherwise, in which any man created alive by Jehovah is slain or caused to suffer death. Neither does the followers of the Creator war. Book 28, chapter 47 and 7. God said, so that man may know this is true. Behold, the followers of the Creator are not warriors, nor have they ever been. Do y'all hear this? This is God's book of Esra and Oahspe. The followers of the Creator are not warriors. Here you go. Who are the famous warriors in the Bible? They wasn't following the Creator. Nor have they ever been. Jehovah said, this mark I put upon man from the time of Cain to the present day, that whoever raises his hand against his brother raises his hand against me also. See? You better stand down, boy. All you little jokers in the streets putting that pistol on your brother, boy. Just like the slave master and the slaves waiting on the slave master, everybody you tortured and killed and sent into the spirit world waiting on that ass. Yeah. So that means all you drill rappers, Bloodhound Lil Jeff, King Von, you St. Louis drill rappers, you Chicago drill rappers, you New York drill rappers, you Florida drill rappers, you LA drill rappers. Hey, your enemy is waiting on you. The enemy is waiting on you, boy. And this mark shall distinguish my servants to the end of the world. Behold, I alone am all knowledge. Look at that. Does God sit on the throne? Yes. Book 5. Book of Satantes, Oahspe. Book 5, chapter 20, verse 13. Look at this. And then Jehovah said, in no time that I bring man newborn into the world without a mother and a nurse and rich nourishment to feed him. Yes, I gave him angels to inspire him and lift him up. And I provided a Lord of the earth to manage his kingdoms and nations, and a God in heaven with a throne and judgment seat, so that man in the angel world will be provided and wisely instructed in soul to comprehend the glory and harmony of my worlds. So no, Creator does not sit on the throne. He ordains gods to sit on the throne. There's a difference between a creator and a God. Yeah, a God to sit on the throne for sure. Right? But if you praise any God that sit on the throne, then that God is false. That's a false God in his false kingdom. That will soon fall. A true God sit on the throne for sure. Yeah, he sit on the throne. You did. Right? But he's not praised and worship. He's simply there to inspire all the angels in his kingdom and all the mortals on the earth, inspiring them to what? Works of righteousness, so they can begin their resurrection process and be where he at one day. Does Oahspe say Lincoln didn't authorize or author the Emancipation Proclamation? No. There go your boy, old Honest Abe, they try to say. Now, y'all do know when he ran for president, he had no desire to free any slaves. Y'all do know this, right? Oh, let's check this out. Somebody gonna be mad about this one. This right here show you that when JBN received this Oahspe boy, You dig that there was some higher forces at work. Look at it. Abraham Lincoln discussed the Emancipation Proclamation with Secretaries of State William H. Seward and Gideon Welles. Seward urged that the proclamation not be issued in July 1862, when Lincoln first drew it up. Frederick Douglass, an influential abolitionist, also advised Lincoln on the issue. Douglass and Lincoln met 3 times in the White House, and Douglass became Lincoln's special advisor in 1865. Douglass urged Lincoln to emancipate all enslaved people in the United States. It is commonly known that Lincoln was not in favor of freeing slaves, but what is uncommon is the what/who changed his mind. Y'all go ahead and get y'all Oahspe's out. Y'all finna see something, boy. Y'all finna see something. Then we gonna go check history behind it. Ooh-wee. Book of S, daughter of Jehovah, chapter 20 and 20. Jehovah said to his ambassadors, take your own inspiring host. So these are female angels. High raised sisters. Take your own inspiring host and go down to the earth. To Washington, D.C., the capital city, to Lincoln, the president, and hold this matter up to him so that he may understand me. For he is not bound in doctrines, for which reason my angels made him president, for this purpose which I have in hand. And the angels of Jehovah went to Lincoln in a vision, like a dream. And they said to him, Lincoln, Lincoln. And he answered and said, who are you? And the angel said, those who come in Jehovah's name for freedom's sake. Look, the Creator was all behind the emancipation of our forefathers and foremothers. Remember, Lincoln, when he ran for president, had no desire to free the slaves, none. But he ended up having a vision that changed his mind. Watch this. Behold, millions of his angels look down from heaven and would come to your armies if you would only proclaim freedom to the slave. Jehovah's hand is in this matter. The next night, the angels came again and retold their words, but added to them, the great majority of the country is ripe for this matter. You fear this is only a foolish dream. Behold, we will give you proof tomorrow. S20, verse 27. Jehovah said, I will make this matter a testimony to this nation, so that no man may deny it. And I will show also how my angels work singly and in mighty legions. Now trip off this, y'all. Now, at that time, living in Washington was a seeress. A young woman who had the ability to hear, speak, and see into the spirit world. Nettie Maynard. Y'all, this is in Oahspe. Through whom spirits spoke in her entrancement. And on the day mentioned, the angel spoke to her, saying to one Colonel Casey. Look at this. Look at this. Colonel Casey, go and fetch the president into the presence of this woman. And Casey went to Lincoln and told him what was said. And when Lincoln was before the seeress, and this was a teenage girl at the time, the angel of Jehovah entranced her and said to him, we said we would give you proof tomorrow. Behold, we repeat to you, Jehovah is in this matter. Unless you proclaim the freedom of the slaves. That's you. That's us. Oahspe is all about the freedom of the so-called copper-colored melanated man, woman, and child, and all slaves, period, but especially here in the Americas. And you talking about this is a racist book. Unless you proclaim the freedom of the slaves, you shall not succeed. Do this, though, and the enemy's army shall melt away like snow in the sun. Lincoln's eyes were open, and he immediately went and proclaimed freedom to the whole 4 million slaves. Ooh-wee. Now watch this. Now this right here is from Nettie Maynard's book. She wrote a book about this. Now, even though that happened in the Emancipation Proclamation happened in 1865 or 63, right? Nettie Maynard was a teenage girl at the time. Oahspe was written in 1881. Okay. Nettie Maynard never spoke about this or wrote anything confirming any of this until 1891. About 30 years after the fact of the matter. 30 years later, she finally write what happened when Abraham Lincoln came to see her. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. The name of the book was Abraham Lincoln a Spiritualist? Or Curious Revelations from the Life of a Trance Medium, Nettie Colburn Maynard. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Now, how would Oahspe even know this? It ain't like John Newbro was in the room. When Abraham Lincoln went to see this little teenage girl who just so happened to be a trance medium after he had a dream about freeing some slaves, and then the angels who gave him the vision said, "No, look, don't worry about it. Tomorrow we gonna give you proof." And the next day he was fetched into the presence of this trance medium, this teenage girl named Nettie Maynard, and the creator spoke right through her and said, "Hey, look, I told you I was gonna give you proof. If you want to be successful, free the slaves, and watch your enemies' armies melt away like snow." See that? Now, this is her writing in 1891, after John Bilal Newbro is dead. The same year he died, she published this book, and he wasn't there. So how would he know to write this down? I mean, even down to her name being in Oahspe, y'all. Look at this. Was Lincoln a spiritualist? She said, "We form in a circle." He said, "Well, how do you do it?" Looking at me, Mr. Laurie came to the rescue and said, "We had been accustomed to sit in a circle and to join hands." But he did not think it would be necessary in this instance. While he was yet speaking, I lost all consciousness of my surroundings and passed under control. This is what Natty Maynard is saying. For more than an hour, I was made to talk to him. And I learned from my friends afterward that it was upon matters that he seemed fully to understand, while they comprehended very little until that portion was reached that related to the forthcoming Emancipation Proclamation. She writing this, y'all, in 1891. You see, he was charged with the utmost solemnity and force of manner not to abate the terms of its issue and not to delay its enforcement as a law beyond the opening of the year. And he was assured that it was to be the crowning event of his administration and his life. And that while he was being counseled by strong parties, while he's being counseled by strong parties to defer the enforcement of it, hoping to supplant it by other measures and to delay action, he must in no wise heed such counsel, but stand firm to his convictions and fearlessly perform the work and fulfill the mission for which he had been raised up by an overruling providence. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. So look, this meeting between Miss Maynard and President Lincoln happened in December of 1862. And no one knew this info but the people around Lincoln. Oahspe revealed this information in 1882. 30 years later, in 1891, 29 years later, Natty Maynard herself independently confirms the words of Oahspe, making Oahspe a primary of this historic event. So if JBN plagiarized this book, where did he get his source from? Especially since the source wasn't created till 1 year after JBN's death. Look at that, y'all. You see, there's certain things you just can't get around. It's just certain things you can't get around. It just is what it is. And like my brother Delta Force 144 say, that's prophecy right there, boy. That's prophecy right there. JBN wasn't even around. And how many people knew that it was Abraham Lincoln had two visions. When he ran for president, he had no desire to free any slaves. Then the angel ambassadors of the creator, some females, some sisters, came to him in a vision and said, "Hey, look, you need to free them slaves if you want to be successful. Free them slaves. Get them 2 nights in a row." And said, "Don't worry, tomorrow we're going to give you proof." Then Colonel Casey brought Abraham Lincoln in the presence of this teenage girl named Nettie Maynard. She passed out unconscious for an hour, but she's speaking the very words of the vision that Abraham Lincoln had. right? When she come back to her peoples that was there, tell her exactly what she was saying. Huh? She don't write about that event until 30 years after the event happened. 1 year after JBN is dead, confirming what JBN wrote in Oahspe. How could he have known that? Oh, boy. Yeah. Somebody mad. So check that out. Right? It was the creators. It was through the will of the creator and his angel ambassadors that Abraham Lincoln signed the Declaration. Signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He wasn't going to do it at first. And the proof that he got was the very vision that he had by the angels of the creator. The very vision he had was retold to him by a trance medium, a teenager named Nettie Maynard. And she didn't even remember saying it. She just remembered when she woke up, the people that was there told her, hey, look, this is what you were saying. Ooh, and it had to do with what? The freeing of the melanated slaves, the copper-colored slaves of the Americas. Y'all, if that's powerful to y'all drop a 2,000 in the chat, boy. You can't get around that. There is no getting around that. And the creator was behind the whole Emancipation Proclamation. The creator was behind it. See that? So your deliverance out of shadow bondage in the Americas, you dig, was directly comes from the Almighty. That's powerful. Let's get into another rumor that's false. Are drugs modern day Negroes? No. See, that's the drugs are black and brown people. Drugs are black and brown people. Are drugs modern day Negroes? No. Are drugs extinct? Yes. Look, you're arguing about a group of people that aren't even in the earth anymore. They're extinct. Drugs are not the modern day Negro, even though a Negro could act like a drug, even though a white man could act like a drug. Modern day drug is Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Benjamin Netanyahu. They're drugs. It's drug behavior. Warfare, bombing, flesh chewing, it's drugs, man. Are drugs modern day Negroes? No. Are drugs extinct? Yes. Does every person alive have drug genetics on this planet? Yes. What is a drug today and how can you tell? Drug, a low mortal, one who desires no spiritual light, one who cannot understand spiritually, an evil man, a warrior. That is book 6, 1 and 13, the Lord's first book. And the iron strayed out of the garden of paradise and began to dwell with the Assuans. And there was born into the world a new race called Druk. And they did not have the light of the Father in them. Neither could they be inspired with shame nor with heavenly things. The Ions were grateful to the Lord, and they gave sacrifice and burnt offerings, and they said to the Druks, go sacrifice to the Lord. Now, this is not the creator, okay? And we're arguing over what primitive man was doing. Okay? Go sacrifice to the Lord, and he will prosper you. But the Druks did not understand. And they fell upon the Lord's chosen and killed them right and left, taking their possessions. And the Lord said to the Druks, because you have slain your brethren, you shall depart out of the place of God. The Druks sound like Cain. Chosen sound like Abel, biblically speaking. And so that you may be known to the ends of the earth, I put my mark upon you. Like, that mark that was put on Cain. And the mark of the Lord put upon the Druks with the shadow of blood, which being interpreted is war. Look at this. And the Lord God said, by this sign the tribes of Druk and their descendants shall be known to the end of the world. Note that war is the distinguishing characteristic of the tribes of Druk and their descendants, but not their color, size, geographic location, etc. Every person alive today descends from both Ions and Druks. And those who war are following their Druk ancestry rather than their Ion ancestry. Think about it. Is biblical God a drug? Is this the reason that biblical God's answer to every problem is fear, killing, murder, and death? Were the ions white and yellow? Yes. Are they modern pale-skinned Europeans? No. This is too easy, y'all. First book of the Lords. The ions were white and yellow. Protect the ions, the little people, white and yellow. Call them the sacred people. Footnote 204. Again, this is generalization. Y'all, this is right in Oahspe. Look at this. Well, reference is made as above to white people. It does not mean what we today call white people. There it is. So you got people that read the beginning of Oahspe dealing with the brown and dark people being the drug and the white and yellow people being the iron. And because of, their short-sightedness and all that racism in them, you think it's talking about the white man and the black man today. It's not. It's not. It's going into behavior. One practices war and one doesn't. One eat flesh and one don't. You dig? Well, reference is made as above to white people. It does not mean what we today call white people, but white in fact with white hair also. Same remarks hold in reference to yellow people. Yeah. See, that's an albino right there. That would be an example of what an iron would look like. You see? But the dark and brown and the white and yellow is more about the deeds that you do. Y'all hear me all the time say he's a black-hearted, urine-drinking bastard, like that pastor down in Tampa, Florida. That been having sex with teenage boys and giving them HIV. He's a drunk, a black-hearted, urine-drinking bastard. All right? Thus, white skin here is not the color of what an early cosmon today was called the white race, being really a light or pale copper or beige. But it would seem that the white of the ions was in complexion more moon white. Moreover, being half angel, they may have had a more radiant or glowing skin tone and a light in the eyes. See? For your information, not only have short-statured indigenous people all across the globe proven to be the oldest genetic stocks documented, but did you know that these pale-skinned people have been proven historically? Have you ever heard about the albino Negro Indians of America? Also called mound builders and moon-eyed people. Okay, here we go right here. Look what it say. Galsgapa near the Honduras, now called Zambos, the insulin or estuaries of New California. Ugly, blackish Negroes. See Vanegas, Langsdorff. The black Indians met by the Spaniards in Louisiana in 1543. See Soto's invasion. The moon-eyed Negroes and albinos destroyed by the Cherokees and seen in Panama. Bartoon, and among these, the Yoruba language has 50% of analogy with the Ghana, 40% with the Ashanti. Look at that. Or Fanti of Guinea, and about 38% with the Fula, Borna and Congo languages of Africa. In Asia, it has 39% of numerical affinity with the Semang Negroes and 40% with the Negroes of Andaman, as well as these of Australia or New Holland. Look at that. The moon-eyed Negroes. See, because the ions weren't just white and yellow. They were very short too, 3 feet tall. But these little people have been confirmed historically, right? And they're not modern Europeans like that today. So when you read iron, white, and yellow in Oahspe, he's not talking about a tribe of Europeans, white and yellow, running around. For one, you can't even show me historically a tribe of 3 foot tall Europeans. But we can show you all over the earth. You know what I mean? Short albino. You know what I mean? looking people on every continent, basically, especially in Africa and in the Americas, and even in Asia. Aligning with Oahspe's theme of multi-regional shared genetics, heritage, culture, and even language. Well, all ions white and yellow. No, that's why we tell you, just keep reading, man. If you keep reading, you're going to see exactly what this is. All right? I'm going to read this, the Lord's fifth book, and then I'm going to close on out. You dig? And we'll come back and do a part two. I mean, this whole rebuttal doc is long. It's 95 pages, and we only on page 22. This deal is long. You dig? But we done rebutted all the so-called LSD and the placental grass eaters and the ions and the drugs and the, man, we been showed all this, man. This what it is. You feel me? So people just gotta, if you really want to get down and understand what's going on, you gotta read Oahspe. Don't get stuck in the beginning. Read it through. And I promise you, your mind gonna be blown. You're gonna be like, whoa, look at that. Now that's deep. You know what I mean? That's easy money. And we ain't heard nothing evil yet. We ain't heard nothing evil yet for all you mumble mouth midgets. Huh? For all you naysayers and gum bumpers. Huh? Why? Because you just as racist as the God you serve, man. Huh? We showed and proved today, and we ain't even done. This document 95 pages long. I'm only on page 22. Easy work, man. Easy work. You dig? And that's why we be telling the Girl Scouts of Israel, who call themselves the Army of Israel, your boy Terry Brown on Facebook, of Shebaniah, the recircumcised penis prick brew, who had to get his penis pricked in order to get citizenship over in Israel. And even Isaiah, Yasha, look, y'all ain't never been ready. Your best bet is to sit over there in the corner and pretend like you're not listening. Pretend like you're not listening. That's right, Yafa. Yafa said they can't comprehend. Yafa, your package is on the way too. Your package is on the way, sis. I'm gonna send you the screenshot of the receipt and all that. All right, so let's go show you. We're gonna end with this. We're gonna prove that all the ions in Oahspe, the ions are white and yellow and they're chosen, and the ions in Oahspe aren't just looked at as white and yellow. Let's go into this right here, the Lord's fifth book. Oahspe is a great read, man. You just got to get past your biases and your racism. All right. The Lord's fifth book. The tribes of Ham were of all colors: black, white, yellow, copper, red, and brown. The tribes of Ham. Ham is Africa, right? Yeah, that's where the fleets of Ham landed after the flood, on which today is the continent of Africa. Okay? The tribes of Ham were of all colors: black, white, yellow, copper, red, and brown. Nevertheless, they were ions, faith this. Having flat nails and short arms. And you got your pygmy toi, some of the oldest genetics in the world. And they all short. Little pygmy toi right out of Africa. They in Asia too. Short as a mug, negrito. Nigga 3 feet tall, short. These are ions, y'all. These are what's left over of the ion genetics that's in the earth. And they very peaceful. Tribes of Ham were of all colors: black, white, yellow, copper, red, and brown. Nevertheless, they were who? Ions of faiths, having flat nails and short arms, and desired to acquire knowledge. And I brought them to a country of sand fields and with fields of rich pastures, interspersed where lived only a few natives. The dark people with short hair. Neither did I admit even the hair of the head of man without providing testimony of my word. So see, don't let nobody play the race card with you when you're dealing with Oahspe, man. All right? And we're going to clear up even more. We're going to clear up even more, man. Was the creator angry when the flood happened? No. And what you see exactly what the creator did, even though he sunk the continent, what he did and how he prepared for the spirits of the dead, you're gonna be like, wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. It didn't repent him that he made man or regret him like the biblical demon. No. So we're gonna get into that. And then we're gonna get into some of these articles too. You know, the rumor that Oahspe is plagiarized from other texts, we're gonna smash that out the water. You know what I mean? Max Mueller. If y'all know who Max Mueller is, you're gonna be like, dang, he straight said it would take men 20 lifetimes. It would if this was plagiarized, it would take 20 men 20 lifetimes to come up with this information. Yeah. We're gonna get into the placentia grass eaters and the compiler of Oahspe is a racist and that his family owned slaves. We're gonna show that that's false. Man, it's all over the place, man. We're gonna catch your boy's lying Zion Lex when he debated Selah. Caught him in a lie. He read it. The boy, I can't even believe he tried that. I said, oh my God, he tried it. He another one. He tried to play the race card. Right? And he lied to y'all face. If y'all saw that debate, he lied right to your face, boy. Right? And he read this highlighted passage right here as if they were the words of John Bilal Newbro. And guess who they were the words of? They were the words of a Southern Baptist white pastor, a preacher, who believed in biblical God like Zion Lex and believed that the Negro was born to be enslaved. These was not the words of John Bilal Newbro. They were the words of a racist white Southern Baptist pastor or preacher who served the same biblical God as Zion Lex. And the nigga Zion Lex read the highlighted portions as if it was coming off the mouth of the compiler of Oahspe. Boy, we got you, boy, in the bag. Got you lying. There he is right there. We gonna get into that. I'm trying to tell y'all. And then here's the whole thing he should have read right here. Here's the whole thing he should have read right here. And it showed you it is not the words of John Newbro. And it was the words of this jackal right here. John Henry Hopkins, 8th presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church. He got a Bible in his hand. What are you talking about? Episcopal Church, predecessor was Thomas Church Brownwell. Successor was Benjamin B. Smith. He was the Bishop of Vermont. See, that is the difference between the Credit Gang and the Hebrews. We keep it real first. Flat out, man. Caught that boy lying. Then we gonna get into a fruitarian Oahspe group and how children were supposedly starved. No, we went and got the court records on that. That's a lie. Even the newspaper articles. Niggas been lying, bro. Like, we gonna go over the placentia grass eaters, another lie. Yeah, we got articles and court records. It's all there, y'all. The Brotherhood of Light, Colorado and California, more rumors proved to be a lie. And when you find out all these rumors are lies, you're gonna be like, man, bruh. Like, come on now. So if y'all got some understanding today, y'all go ahead and drop a vortex in the chat. CGG. Empty the whole magazine, boy. Y'all drop a vortex in the chat if y'all got some understanding. You know what I mean? Shout out to the CGG Credit Gang, light bombing. And again, all the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts of Israel turned the fade down. The elder Shebaniah in Israel turned the fade down. And Isaiah Yasha'Allah just want to make jokes. He don't want to make videos. He flat out said no. And JJ 7000 just running around like a chicken with his head cut off because he just don't know no damn better. He's a few rocks short of a collection. Credit gang, no.
Yeah. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old texts lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old texts lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense. Sirens in the night, nobody shocked at the noise. Yellow tape stretch where they once played as boys. Numbers on the screen turning life to a choice. Timeline scroll quick, life never had a voice. Crowds gather round, but the questions remain. Everybody seen it, but ain't got a name. Patterns in the chaos, but it's easier to blame with whatever narrative the channels want to frame. History buried, but it bleed through the cracks. Old warnings written, now they line up with facts. Same cycles turning, just a different set of acts. Same end result every time it collapses. Nobody asking why the pressure's immense, or why it feel heavier just to exist. Everything loud, laced with suspense, like something got taken without any compense. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old text lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old text lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense. Books full of knowledge, but the spirit get ignored. Mapped out the stars, they think Saturn's the Lord. Charts on the wall, got them feeling the shore. Cut off anything that ain't measured or explored. Teach what they see, all else is dismissed. Call it blasphemy if it don't coexist with the data they gather in the systems they script. Truth get narrowed down to the lens they equip. People walk around like they stuck in a phase. Talk like they living, but they lost in a maze. Can't tell the difference, real life in the stage. Playing out scripts that they write on a page. Try to speak deep but get labeled intense. Say it's too much or it don't make sense. But the more that they reject, the more it commence. Like a loop that repeat with a porous defense. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old text lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense. Big buildings rise, put a crown on the place. Call it center of the world, everything in second place. Power gets stacked, now it's all about the race. Who can dominate the map, who can regulate the space. Leaders speak loud, but it's all self-interest. Every move calculated, never random in the business. Send waves out with just a widen the distance between those who comply and those in resistance. Glory on display, make it look like it's pure, but behind closed doors, it's a different report. Decisions getting made that the public can't afford, where disease get patented without no cure. Expansion the goal and never knowing it end. Armies of the gods cleanse the land of descent. Every structure built will eventually bend. When it's rooted in control, it despises free men. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old text lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book to make it all make sense. Time coming close where it won't be belief. Things getting shown, put the doubters to sleep. Not a matter of opinion, a scientific retreat. When it's sight in the eye, can't deny what it see. Proof in the works, even if it take time. Generations build just to reach that line where the truth stand clear, not hidden in lies. And the ones who deny get washed in the tide. Some will accept, some will turn away fast. Some in the trance to the spells that they cast, but the ship still move it the way that just passed. Answers was written before the questions was asked. Everything aligning, every sign kill fear. Past meet present, now the picture feel clear. What was once questioned now is turning the gears, and the record been there, just ignored through the years. Coming in the air, something heavy, intense. Signs in the sky, but they hide the evidence. Old text lining up that predicted events. Oahspe the book that make it all make sense.